All right. Oh, Brett Erickson's muted. That's up to the host, Greg Chaille, and the
Well, I
co-host.
mean, you're the co-host, Andy. So I had you while I was attending to.
Hey
Check it out.
guys,
Check it out.
thanks
Yeah.
for letting me into the meeting.
Yeah. I'm co-hosting.
I appreciate that. That was nice of
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah. This is my first parade. Isn't this exciting?
So far, you're doing a great job.
Yeah. I don't know if this is the time of year, but I think gay 90s is upon us in Coquille, which is what I associate, celebration and parades with. But yeah, well,
They always do it on Memorial Weekend.
No, I don't know. It seems like it's coming.
It seems like if they did it on Memorial Day weekend,
you couldn't. Nobody would
do
give
it.
a shit.
Yeah.
Wait, so the first thing you say is that
I don't
right
know,
now
man.
you think that this is the time that they do this.
I'm still in this
and
when
then you realize that a whole different event is actually happening today.
I'm in the shit. I'm fucking feeble. I slept basically I slept like hibernated 2 days after we podcasted. And I really like women's college softball now. As I was waking up and I had it on, and it was like I think it's maybe a triple or 4 games in a row, but I just kept waking up, and it's just it's like curling was. It's a nice chatter, the occasional base hit, or whatever, a home run, even
fast pitching.
Yeah, they throw the shit out of it underhanded.
They're all wearing fucking masks on their helmet.
I used to when I was in high school, we played fast pitch softball in the summer in a men's league. When I was growing up, all the dads played fast pitch softball, underhand fast pitch like the girls do.
Yeah.
And it was like a thing.
Wait.
It was a thing.
I've been in the kegger leagues and the
no.
the big
Slow pitch
sloping,
softball,
big arcing.
Slow pitch softball came later. In the 70s and 80s, fast pitch men's softball was a thing, at least in the Midwest. There were teams all over the fucking place. There was a whole league of teams from Walnut,
Wow.
And these guys would pitch like the girls do with the big overhand, fire it in. And there was still some remnants of that shit still around when I turned 18. And for a couple summers, I played fast pitch men's softball. It was a trip.
Did you ever pitch?
No, I couldn't pitch, but I learned to do it. Like I could do it.
You could do it, but
pitch. Like I could pitch like batting practice for a fast pitch softball.
I think you gotta underhand pitch it with your asshole. You gotta have a lot of ass, but it just comes from that center, center.
Here's the
line
thing
your asshole up and then boom. That's what I noticed.
Well, that would certainly be a secret pitch to unleash on the other team.
You wouldn't come out of the box.
No, you save that for
save that one for like maybe that 4 deep in the batting lineup.
You save that for the bottom of the
what signal does the catcher use for that asshole pitch?
It just seems like, man, the girls who could pitch had big asses. Big, that's what I'm saying.
No.
But look.
The ones who were, look, if you wanted somebody to get some outs, you want a chick with the biggest ass one.
Yeah.
You would maybe even ask if she drove the bus. When she gets off the bus, her ass is so big, you think it's the driver.
You want her nickname to be the bus.
Yeah. That's what I noticed. If you have a couple of those girls, you're going to win a lot of games.
Yeah, because the pitching rubber is 45 feet away from home plate. So, and the way you pitch underhand like that, you start with both feet on the pitching rubber and you take a big step forward. And as you're like, you come far forward. So you're really close to the hitter by the time you let go of the fucking ball. That's the whole thing. So you get these big, strong people who do it and just fire it in there. It's not as much, they're not throwing like curveballs like pitchers are, they're just
there's not a lot of they talked about variation in the pitches, but I can't really see how you could do a whole lot with your arm in that position.
The whole trick is that the big thing is like you can throw like basically a change up. You have to be so ready to swing because they're so close to you when they let go of the ball that you have to be ready to swing like immediately. So if they can throw a really slow pitch, you're going to swing twice before the fucking ball gets there. And that was the trick in men's softball.
Like in the cartoons?
Yeah.
Strike one, strike two, strike three,
Right.
you're out.
Yeah. But the thing about fast pitch underhand is that you can make it go up. So that was always that's the pitch. You spin it out of your hand and it will go up. So it's coming at you like a strike. And by the time you swing at it, the catcher catches it above your fucking head and you look like an idiot. It's a trip, man. I mean, it's a hard game to play.
Fast pitch softball, you've kind of already given up on not looking like an idiot.
Now I feel it.
Thanks. I would have to say, I'd say that slow pitch is, well, I don't know.
Well,
slow
I mean,
pitch
if
is
men are
like,
going to play, if
losers,
that's
why
why
we
we're
played
going to play
fast
softball.
pitch.
Why not just play baseball? If you could
Well,
just.
I
Isn't
think
that why the
because-
chicks started playing the fast pitch softball? Is they weren't as good at the overhand throws?
there might be something to that, but this is truly a thing. If anybody is my age and around the Midwest, they know this. Fast pitch men's softball was the way. There was no slow pitch softball.
You listen to barbershop quartets and you played underhand fast pitch.
Right.
You had a mustache.
Absolutely. You had a mustache.
Yeah, you had a strong opinion about
Nixon.
Coors beer.
And why they won't let Coors beer come east of the Mississippi.
Yeah.
Fucking bullshit.
Hey, Andy, so according to your theory,
Oklahoma's
the gal
win.
on the screen behind me, she wouldn't be a good pitcher because she
Well,
doesn't.
no, she could get you some innings, but I wouldn't. I mean, she actually look at that arm. That arm would be, her arm
instead
would
of
go.
the butt, which is just basically holding her body up. Let's look at the upper body.
I agree with Andy though, because all the good softball, female softball, even if they're built regular up top, they look like a centaur from the bottom down. Like they got a lot of push.
There was one team. It's one of the southern states that you would probably figure, but there were a couple of girls in the outfield I thought might be truck drivers that just wandered in. Like holy shit, but she's probably put in late innings to stand there, and if the ball goes over, but we need you at bat or whatever, she's a bat, I think. Because those big girls can crush it too. The petites are out there just for and here's I was into the sport and most of the games were kind of lopsided, so it was like less interesting or whatever. But I finally wedged myself out of bed when cornhole was on. It was celebrity cornhole, I guess, because the situation was playing cornhole. And I fucking got up out of bed. I couldn't find the remote control for most of the day, is why I was on the one channel too. But when that came on, I was like, God damn it, I'm not doing this. I gotta watch some.
That's got to be the very end, right?
I blacked
the situation.
Out.
From Jersey Shore is tossing a bag into a box from 15 feet away, and you're watching it. That's the bottom of entertainment. That's as far down as it goes.
Well, I feel bad for cornhole now. That's the they're at the fucking end of their whatever they had.
Yeah. But you imagine how many times the situation had to explain who he was so he could be oh man, or how low. I would like to see a list of what cornhole
That's funny too, though, Chad, that they have the situation like that somewhere there's some cornhole purists.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Who are like,
this
is fucking bullshit. The situation.
Or they have to Google who it is because they're that into the sport.
I mean, that's like barely celebrity.
Yeah. Cornhole's barely a sport. So, but it's like celebrity basketball when they get it together. It's like a lot of people we wouldn't really consider and interesting to watch.
Well, I think with basketball, you have to have people that want to play basketball and like hump it up and down the court.
I think
anyone could be. I mean, by this definition, anyone's a celebrity and anyone's an athlete.
The best celebrity basketball that I've heard about was like Gary Shandling had a game, and Tom Petty used to sit and smoke cigarettes and just watch.
Those are
people play.
celebrities, Andy.
I know that would be like celebrity basketball. There wouldn't be like called to go a bunch of, like George Clooney's popping by. That's celebrity basketball. He's not showing up to play at the arena to be like when you're that level of celebrity, you don't go wreck your knees playing against,
a pickup game over at the
Machine Gun Kelly taking out Clooney or something. You can't have that. Machine Gun Kelly is not a replacement for George Clooney. He's the reason why we still need to hang on to George Clooney and get as many fucking movies out of him as we can.
Well, Machine Gun Kelly is at least, by definition, he is an artist and he's in the music business. This chump up here at Johnsonville Brats cornhole is basically a guy who had pretty good abs for a while.
Yeah.
And then we basically had a camera crew following him around as he, tried to pick up chicks at the boardwalk.
The situation needs some writers, because if he had some funny writers, he could do a thing where he could like make fun of himself. Like I was just thinking about, what if he did a thing while he was playing cornhole where he always kept like trying to get the crowd to yell out like his catchphrase, but his catchphrase was like, like instead of like going for the obvious, do something stupid like, oh, looks like we've got ourselves a predicament. And you want to give your writer's pack to
wait. I hope you're not auditioning to be the situation.
It sounds like
that's a little complex for the situation to pull off.
These are people with fourth grade education
go to
thesaurus.com
and type in situation.
How many reality stars do you want to work for,
it's
man?
Hard. It's too complicated.
Yeah, he wasn't cracking me up.
I'm just looking for work, that's
sure.
all.
He took it serious, it's just like back and forth, and it's like, I'm not doing this. I didn't lay in bed and watch 3 months of curling just so I could lay here 3 months later to watch the situation playing cornhole, and talking to the other guy. Like you miss the whole, what else do you have to say? There's no fucking strategy talk that the cameras need to hear. You're not, I don't even.
I would imagine like put some hair on it. I'll get it in every time, or spit on
if
the bag.
They probably discourage that because they're trying to, I think at the end of the day, you're trying to sell boards and bags.
Then why did they get a guy who is known for fucking defiling drunk co-eds on spring break?
Yeah, they're still continuing with that thing, man. I saw an ad there. They'll be on. It's like it's the Kardashians. They'll never go away. They'll be like the Golden Girls, Kardashians, and the same. It's like they'll never go away. Once you get to that level of oversaturation, there's nowhere to go.
Pauly D is the one who played it probably the most right, because he got himself like a job in Vegas, DJing, to where he can get paid to do the simplest job in the world. Not that all DJing is the simple, but I promise you, Pauly D's DJing is all pre-recorded. So he just
Paris Hilton is also a celebrity DJ.
That's what I mean. But he's actually getting paid, and he gets to go to a party and have fun.
Oh, she gets paid.
The main guy. Right. But I'm talking about the Jersey Shore fuckers.
Yeah.
Like Pauly D's the only one.
He's the only one who legitimately had
parlayed it, even though he parlayed it into a continual grift.
It's like
but next level, like working grift.
It works for that state too. Like, could you imagine like a similar show? Like when I was at my height of drunk and destructive in I'd say my first couple of years, and I won't even give them a freshman, sophomore label. I was in community college, so I was just there to drink beers and get rejected by women, and so that's the fucking that's where the show would have been. I would hate to be like 55 and still trying to wedge furniture apart for a camera. And it seems like that's kind of what they were at their drunkest stupid phase of their life. And then, but I think in Jersey that's carries on, man, because I don't think you give that up at some point. And I think you either go to jail or you keep going and you do it just a couple less days a week or whatever, but you're still just as fucking dumb.
I love that I know all of these people from South Park. That's how I know.
You're way better off.
That you guys
I guess that's a definition of celebrity.
Yeah. Snoo. I forget her name.
Nookie.
Mush. Yeah.
That was the one that cracked me up on South Park. Yeah. She was just a horny fuck demon.
That isn't entirely inaccurate.
No, but then now she's a mother, I think.
Well, she turned out to be the most interesting one because, if you do end up like following their lives and then you see if there's any growth or anything, like she actually, kind of turned into it. She's like not like a bad mom or anything.
So that's like, but it's like, it's like revisiting somebody's college days. She actually was acting out and fucking.
I love how you put that, revisiting someone's college days, talking about the cast of Jersey.
Yeah, true. But being on that show, it's like being paid to be in community college.
That kind of was what I think people think college is like. That's what they're going for in college for sure.
Basically, I remember playing. Me and my roommate played doubles against two dudes. It was like a blackout or whatever in school. Not a protest. It was like there was no electricity.
No power?
Yeah, so they were out, and I was taking a tennis. I was a tennis. That's why I was there at community college that day. I was in tennis. I took a tennis class, and then these two dudes come out from refrigerator repair, and we played tennis with them, and we almost lost to guys who just walked out of a fucking because of a electrical outing. They happened to come out, and we had extra rackets, and we almost lost to them. But that's community college.
So they're in refrigerator repair class and the power goes out. Like that's like the greatest thing that could happen. Right? Like
probably in there. For us it kind of
did you go home early.
We were probably hovering around hoping that there would be some like women after class that would want to play. So it was probably like me and Paul hitting back and forth, waiting for that.
And instead you get two
Gomers, and one of the Gomers had a pretty goddamn good serve, which I never really ever really got down. I still don't know how to serve because fuck that.
I love it. That was your guys's well, how are we gonna meet chicks? I know. We'll go down to the tennis court and we'll pray for a blackout.
How we
meet for him to come out.
How we meet girls.
Shorts.
And this is what's wrong with women and men probably.
Wait. Everybody get ready.
Well, how we met women is my roommate who I thought was ugly. Okay. I'm not, just put it out there. I don't think he was a good looking dude, but he was 6'5", which implies he had a bigger dick and he had no trouble. And hanging out with him was always like, okay, well, they get a little overflow, but it's all because he was. Anyway, one time in college, there was a woman I was kind of had my eye on, I handed towels out, and I was interested in her, but I didn't have.
Towels out.
She had big hair, and I liked her, and I'd hand her a towel because you could hand them out to.
How are you in a situation to hand out like in the locker room?
The guy who hands out towels left.
They would come around. They would come around. There was a side window and then there was a front window, but that one, it wasn't. But it's still, I liked her, and I would have had her as my girlfriend. But
well, lucky her.
Yeah,
towel boy.
Yeah.
I
didn't really know how to express myself when I wasn't blackout drunk, and anyway. One time,
hold on, Andy. I got to know why. Why was a man handing a woman a towel?
Because I was
in a PE situation.
I worked that room, man.
Wouldn't there be a woman doing that?
I don't know. Maybe I just saw her walking by the window while I handed towels out. But I know that she come to the window for stuff. You come there and you need stuff. I was the guy, like Radar O'Reilly. I had towels. you need
Yeah,
it.
the towel guy can be
pretty
for
much
everybody.
pretty much towels.
What do you need? A towel, a basketball? What do you need? I got everything.
Got some used women's shorts back here.
Well, I don't think that was part of our service. Otherwise, I would have had a pair. Because I wasn't the most, I wasn't a guy who was good talking to the ladies back then.
I was picturing Andy at like some
not like now,
like in Caddyshack where they're with the guys behind the cage signing their cards and giving them a Coke. I picture him like that, but like in a PE situation. But now it's like Andy was just happened to be standing near a window on one side and a girlie like walked by on the other, and he goes, "Hey, you want a towel?"
Well, let's just say I got to know her schedule.
That's creepy.
Notice the car she was driving. I don't know where she lived.
Were you enrolled at the school?
Yeah, I was there for law enforcement, bro. So I was practicing techniques.
Private eye.
What if I were a cop and this chick were a criminal type of thing?
Yeah.
But I never really followed her home because I, totaled my car pretty early in the year.
I didn't stalk that girl because I crashed my car.
Only that car would have held out.
Yeah, you don't subtly follow somebody in a T-boned T-boned what was it? It was a
throwing sparks because the muffler's hanging off.
Yeah.
Monza. It was a T-bone Monza with sports rims. Fucking sports rims are what that's why I still drove it after it got T-boned, because I took pride in them rims. As part of my job.
They were probably fine. They didn't get T-boned.
That's why I made when I slammed the curb one last time with it there at the community college. I'll get back to stalking that. I can't even remember her name. Look how healthy I've gotten. But I slammed I came in a little hot after a lunch, a couple of martini lunch off campus, and slammed into one of those. Why do they even have those there? Half curbs. And I banged up one of the rims, and then I just called up a wrecking company, and then the guy come and picked it up, and I thought I could get it 150, and I walked away with 75.
Wait, so the car got T-boned?
Yeah,
and you kept driving it.
Yeah.
But then one day
not that night.
Scratched one of the wheel rims on the
Not
curb,
that night. I stopped
and you just
immediately.
said, "Well, fuck it, I'm done."
And here's the kicker: I don't really recognize the accident as my fault.
Of course not.
There was a witness who saw it all fucked up, but I was running through a yellow light, and the guy in the brand new 300ZX, whatever, fucking faggot, he was anticipating the light turning green, so he was actually jumping on a red.
Yeah,
that's what happened. And I met him in the middle of the intersection, and then I spun out into like a Bob's Burgers or it was a Arctic Circle maybe, and then I parked it, and then I got out, and eventually there were police all around. That guy stayed in the intersection, and they were looking for my car as though I took off. Yeah, that's pretty much. I had that color.
The Spider.
I had that color, and then I had brown rims that were all
brown
badass.
rims.
Yeah, well, I worked at a tire place, and they didn't want to pay me, so
they gave you the worst rims.
They paid me. No, I got sport. I was like I got sold. I was like a fucking rube. So of course I was like, yeah, man. I think fucking half-ass Russ. He's always like, put your ass into it. That guy, Russ, he probably talked me into getting rims for my car. That's the only reason I got $75 is what the guy told me. When I go, I want a 100. Yeah, I go 150, and he goes, I go, that's it. I paid that for the rims or something. And he goes, I can't even use one of them. And he goes, and then they go, $75, take it or leave it. It's like, I guess, no, you take it and I'll take it. Take it. Yeah, and that was it. That was the end of that. And then I was unburdened but anyway, with this girl, she came home with my roommate, and they were hanging. It's like, like I didn't tell him that's the girl I'm, been spotting around campus, keeping an eye on, or anything. But because he was 6'5", he brought her in, and I don't even know, it just ruined it for me that was I could have probably still asked her to square dancing or something. Whatever you ask chicks to do in community college. You want to go binge drinking?
It doesn't sound like you didn't have game.
Yeah, no, I that's why I took karate.
Imagine being that nervous and unable to talk to girls and thinking,
yeah, and then all I ended up doing there was getting
class
kicked in the face by one. You know, that's not exactly courting, and that she was taken anyway. So I think I was just learning. Yeah, I was trying to find a direction to go with blackout drinking and breaking furniture. And there wasn't a lot of career options at that point for that.
Well, you definitely need to know karate if you're going to be blackout drunk and be breaking things. It helps for sure.
And then work near like a Amish furniture factory or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was real good at breaking furniture, and I used some what people would call professional.
Not a job, Andy.
I know, but it was I mean, if you could do it, like if there was a club, like, you know, break its or whatever, or, you know, whatever you call it. Like because people, there is a market.
They do that. Look, they do that now. They did a
rage room
here in Austin a couple of months ago. Carrie Mitchell went to it. And they just, you go in, you pay, and you go in there and you just break shit.
Yeah, see,
you get all kinds of shit from the dump, and you just smash it.
And I would do that, and people would, you know, they would. I don't know that I didn't have a GoFundMe, but it seems like people bought beers anyway. But I would kick apart something or smash, you know.
Well, so you were more of a showman.
I was
like a rage room where anyone can break anything. This was like,
and I didn't have
a show. I'm going to break up some cabinets.
Well, and you know what?
If I know Andy at all, he showed up, drank everybody else's booze. They got mad at him, and he kicked apart their furniture when they kicked him out.
No, this was all done.
That's what I'm guessing.
This was here's
good night, everybody.
Here was the problem with what I did.
I think Andy got so drunk at the end of whatever party or whatever gathering, then he broke things. I got drunk and broke things.
Here's one thing I did that I didn't remember is I threw a dresser and all my clothes out, and then I threw M80s out the window on top of my clothes. And I don't remember, you know, like, did I, you know, they're like, you're good, all right with the fuse. I was like, that's, you know, you got to worry about that shit when you're blackout drinking and you're throwing off explosives. Is like, was I taking chances? I don't want to fucking hear that guy wasn't being careful with the fuses.
Yeah.
You know,
it could have gone a different way that night for sure.
Yeah. When I heard about that, the first thing I did was look at me and go, you know, like, okay, well, no harm done here. But it's like a duplex.
Wait a minute, I used to have 11 fingers.
Yeah, they're neighbors, you know, they don't understand any of it. How could they? I didn't either. I didn't like my clothes, I guess was the point of it. But here's the problem with what I did is I did something that should be a very outdoor or in an arena. And the way these apartments are slapped together, shit, you know, you throw 1/5 into a fireplace. Well, it don't break the bottle so much as everything in the fireplace, you know, shit like that. It was just a learning curve, you know. Wall spackling, you know, how do you do that? You know, there's nothing to adhere to. So we'd put beer cans and stuff, just whatever, and then you have something to spackle to.
Okay, so what you're saying is like you guys would bust some drywall, and then you didn't know how to fix drywall, and there was no YouTube, so you would just shove garbage in the hole until it had filled up enough. And then you could just put the spackle on top of that.
And nobody there knew any better. I mean,
Sure.
I didn't. I was wide-eyed going, this how it's done? Shit. That was the apartment that we were gonna, well, I guess sued. We got a couple of us got scared into coughing up money, and I guess that was good enough. But there was too many of us in there, and some of us weren't signed, and I really didn't think I owed because I helped replace. A lot of the doors were broken, and I broke a few of them, maybe 3 of them. But I broke into an apartment and got all the
You've told
doors out
us.
of it.
I remember you telling us the story. You had your screwdrivers and you would put doors up. So like you would break like 5 doors, and then like one day you went in on a Saturday and you helped the landlord put one door up.
We had a
well, we had like, well, so I was
we compromised the guy that would leave an empty apartment open.
Yeah,
I can't even remember.
So that's what it was. You took his
spill
door.
it out.
Wait, that's what it was. You stole a door and replaced your broken door with a stolen door. So now,
but then
instead of it just having a broken door, now has a broken door and a stolen door.
Water damage.
Which would have worked great, except for they already knew the first door was broken. And so now when the upstairs door, empty apartment door is broken,
right across the hall.
Hey, come on.
Like, dude, it's still got our apartment number on it.
Yeah. It was a real shit show, dude. But that was probably, we had a lot of damages. That was the place also that somebody flushed the toilet, and I saw it was like, but it was not my thing, man. So I left, but it caused it not only flooded the bathroom, but it sagged the floor, the ceiling down below. Like everything, it's like almost they should have just said, let's redo it.
How many beer cans did it take to fix the floor?
We flattened them. And that way there was
well, of course you flatten them. You need the density of the flattened can.
Yeah, but I know one of the jobs came like it puffed out and hardened, so it was like it was not flush with the wall. It was obviously something, you go like, what the fuck?
I can guarantee you, Andy, none of those looked good.
No, it was.
You guys are using beer cans and spackle. None of those look good.
I see why people wouldn't want to rent to people like that.
Yeah,
and I did that to a couple of places. It was like 3 or 4 places before I was like, maybe we shouldn't wreck this place, And that's when I got married.
Decided to wreck something else.
I'm out of the game.
Yeah, I think pretty much I was needing to calm down a little bit. It was like community college, so it's like everybody was doing it probably.
But then you went to like really calmed down though. Like you went from like raging community college maniac to young married buck.
Kind of I went to I tried to hook on at a bigger college, but they told me get out. It's like that game Candyland. You hit it, hit a ladder, you're climbing, you hit a chute. Well, I'm back in community college.
Wait. Andy, Candyland
just
is a
like
game.
that game Candyland.
And chutes and ladders is a different game.
All right. Well, don't they have the same process?
Candyland does have some ways to go back.
So does Monopoly.
Yeah.
So I had a couple of edibles. Well, I mean, the one.
Yeah, it's like that game Monopoly where you buy as many of the mountains as you can until you have all of the mountains, and no one else can have any of them. Whenever they come by on the mountains, they have to pay.
I think Southern Oregon State, and it's not even called that anymore. So fuck them too. But they were the ones who asked me not to attend anymore. They were like, and then I think I attended other college after that, but they didn't want me there. They wanted my education to continue elsewhere.
Yeah.
And then like I said, I have the same name. I don't even know what they're called anymore.
I graduated from a college that changed its name after I graduated.
Yeah. So
how much does that suck? You fucking spend all your time and you go there and you get a degree, and then you're like, oh, you graduated from where? Well, yeah, it's not.
Can you get it updated for a fee? Or?
Yeah, they would. Yeah, they wanted money to get a new diploma.
Let's go back to college.
As I recall my community college career,
engineering,
they would let you go. They would let you stay there and fuck off as much as you want, as long as you paid.
Yes.
So what, like, were you?
I got money.
So this is when Andy went from community college to an actual next level 4-year university, Southern Oregon.
Yeah, Southern Oregon State College. And
then I went to Portland. You just ran out of cash? Is that what it is? Because you
did you finish community college?
I got an well.
You transferred.
I transferred, but I thought I would have.
He finished.
I saw that I saw community college as a stepping stone.
But that's what it
associate's
is.
degree. That's what my question.
Yeah, I did, but I didn't know.
But he was finished.
I found out later that I got I earned an associate of art degree, but I didn't get anything in the mail or a cap and gown or anything. And then I never picked up my degree because I figured that would just be one of many. Oops.
Don't need to collect the first.
I kind of hit the wall at Southern Oregon State College. You could go skiing, and I continued with the drinking, and then, but the thing is you have to try a little harder at a college than the community college.
Andy, you went to SOSU?
Yeah. SOSU, yep. Southern Oregon State College, and then what was it? I don't even, the Road Runners, Red Raiders. I was a Red Raider.
Briefly.
And I helped, well, I didn't help, but Mr. I told this too, but I don't know if I used this. He was, what's the last guy chosen in the NFL draft? Mr. Irrelevant. He cheated. He was one of the guys that cheated off of I know he was looking on one of my weather and climate class test. He was looking over my shoulder.
Wait, he cheated off you and then later was drafted by an NFL.
He was the last guy chosen in the NFL draft. He didn't make it, but that's why. You don't know who to cheat off of, bro. I'm not trying. What I would do in that class, I was a teacher's aide, so I would take the test and then I corrected test. So the test I took that day, I would also take a fresh copy and sometimes freshen up a few things, because like you get tested and then that's it. And then but what if you find out it's like a court case? I found out other relevant information after I filled out this.
Your Honor, Professor.
That guy could never figure out
to the test right after the test was over. When I
never had a question for the guy. Tests. I was his aide, and I had I was an A student, and but I never asked him anything. I wouldn't even know how to phrase a question that wouldn't sound like I was cheating on every test. But I did get my A's. It wasn't all C's. Occasionally, once you get inside, man. God. Yeah, and then I got kicked out of housing there. I was right next to a guy who's burned his unit up, and I was with a guy who brandished a gun in the mini mart back in the day where you could do that as a joke on Halloween, and I thought it was a bad idea. He's like waving it around and shit, and the guy goes, "All right, you need to leave, sir." Now it wouldn't be that cool.
He's waving a gun in a mini mart?
He was getting beer, and he had it was part of his outfit. It maybe didn't look like it was a realistic enough gun, but it was like, it was a kid gun.
The rest of his outfit wasn't pantyhose on his face, was it?
Yeah.
All black.
I was pretty popular in the dorms because I was old enough to get beer. I was 18 when I graduated. So I would have at some point in the dorms.
Were all of them 18 when they graduated?
Well, I was in the dorms at 21 though. Wait a
minute. You left community college
and I lived in
is an associate's level of transfers, and you
got
go to a 4-year university and you check into the dorms with the freshmen.
Yeah. Like that. There was warning signs. Like, 3-4 years in, I'm getting dear sophomore mail. Like, hey, is there anybody else here with a similar name? Because I think I'm a junior at least, bro. It wasn't a real orchestrated scholastic run. Then the set, I think I was in the dorms because my roommates weren't committing to where they were. I ended up with them after I got kicked out of the dorms. We all reassembled, but some of the guys I lived with in Albany, at the community college were from Southern Oregon, and they went back there, and I followed them because I had no fucking sense of direction of my own or whatever. It's like, you guys. So then I ended up committing to the freshman dorm, and that led almost to rehab. Because I was like, I mean, I like to have a good time, and I like to have a good time, and the dorm was no different. I tried to bring a positive attitude into whatever I did.
I'm guessing that when you were pimping beer for these guys, there was probably a little bit that you would take for yourself.
Yeah,
money-wise, right?
Well, I was still a scam. I had the scams from community college, so it was like a, but I didn't fit into the freshman dorms, and then I signed that year contract, and that's what I told that story. The guy told me I was kicked out of the dorms, and I ended up with I signed a year contract, and that's why I couldn't leave. And for some reason during our discussion, I ended up with the contract. I have no fucking idea. I'm walking across campus and realized, oh shit, I'm not in the dorms anymore. He was going to send me to the foreign dorms, and shame on him for making it sound like a punishment, because I could have diversified my friend list the fuck out of it if I'd have got sent to the foreign dorms. But not only what I was basically out of where I was at in that sweet spot down in Green Springs, and I was going to have to move up the hill in the foreign dorms and go to rehab. And then I got across campus and realized bullshit. And then I went to Omar's, which is the only reason Southern Oregon had any kind of fucking reputation was stupid Playboy called it a party school. That's why I went there too. It's like, oh, it's a party school. It's like close to skiing, and you can black out drunk there, but it ain't really that fun.
I looked up Southern Oregon University.
That's
and
it.
They're ranked 16th out of 20 in the state. They're below average. They're horrible, and they're overpriced.
Well, they probably still have foreign dorms.
That's the guys who would have been up in the dorms with Jugdish, Mohammed, but I went to So I went to Omar's, where I sorted out a lot of problems. It was a small bar, and they didn't mind serving you a lot, and they knew. Well, I don't even think they gave a shit. Driving, walking, get the fuck, too drunk. If you're too drunk to sit in there, you were too drunk. But if you were in there, you were fine. And I got pretty drunk, and then I went back up there to talk to Joe about my going to rehab and everything, and that's when I moved. That's when I started my own party house outside of the dorms. Greg Wacker was one of the throw-ins. I didn't know that dude. He's a bug-eyed fucking liar, and he was also a big dude too. He was from the basketball team. That's how the connection. I didn't throw him any bounds because I wasn't friends with him back then. But Wacker was so it was like an assortment of assholes all got kind of. There was like Wacker was getting kicked out of the dorms, and I think he was probably in the waiting room when I went in, sitting out there waiting to get kicked out of the dorms. So it's like, let's get a bunch of guys like that together. We move into Ashland, and we open it up in a residential neighborhood, and they didn't like us there neither.
Surprise.
Yeah. God damn it. I didn't know, it's like you're supposed to invite neighbors to a party or not have there's certain neighborhood. Yeah, there's Omar's. And that was it wasn't really a karaoke bar, but when something would come on the jukebox, every asshole in there would start singing along with it.
Well, it looks like it's a seafood steak place.
Yeah, it's like a little dank little bar there. Oh, the reason Playboy gave it a party school destination or whatever declaration is because Omar's was on campus, and it was one of the only on-campus bars. I was like, that's no reason. How about curbing date rape? That would make it a good party school. Give us, something. There wasn't even there wasn't even any. I don't know. Maybe I didn't get invited to them. Could be.
Well, how long were you there?
I was there 2 years, I think.
This is at community college.
I went to community college and then to Southern Oregon.
I thought you were talking. I thought Omar's was at Southern Oregon.
That's where it was. Yeah, Southern Oregon.
Actually,
but
you went to Southern Oregon for 2 years. You
it was like a clean slate, man.
Grift
no credits
out of this college that clearly would have recognized immediately that you have zero chance of graduating.
They could have looked at my looked at my transcripts. Yeah, that's when we kind of had the discussion about they were cutting my I wasn't going to get any more loans or
look, we notice you're not even buying books, sir. We're not going to keep giving
that's because I would
money.
steal them at Southern Oregon.
But 2 years, to get 2 years out of it is actually a pretty good grift. I mean, I went to college for 5 years and I knew kids who came in and out well under that. Kids who ran a good grift for a year even was amazing. To get money and get loans.
I would have had the fucking asshole Reagan cut off. My brother Jeff got money for college, and it was like something that Reagan did. So my dad was a vet, wounded, or he wasn't wounded as a vet. He got wounded picking cherries. But anyway, battlefields are a bitch, and whether you're under a Royal Land tree,
as a disabled veteran.
That's right.
Yeah, whether you're laying
all my
under
kids got to go to school too.
Yeah. So if you're under a Royal Land tree because you got greedy, or you got your legs shot off in Nam, you got money for your kids for college, but it got cut off right before I went to college. So Reagan was actually the first president where I said I was going to go kill him, and my mom's like, "Oh, you're not." I said, but I realized I should have had better drugs in community college. That would have made the experience better, and I probably would have asked that girl out. I could own the stereo store by now. Not just thinking of robbing it. I kind of came into my own. The community college scams were some of my use at State College, but at State College, I just instinctively knew that you could rob the bookstore because there's no cameras in here. Like I was already ahead of my time. Or not ahead of it. I was at the right time because I would have been fucked today. I was like, wait, hidden cameras? Ah, shit.
That ain't fair.
It's a camera. You gotta be shitting me.
Yeah, the big ones that were in the corner and shit.
Those weren't even plugged in, by the way.
Yeah, they're not even real cameras.
There's a 9-volt battery that powered the light on the front, and that was it.
Yeah. I found out at the stereo store that they had fake stereos too, that you like on display, so you couldn't steal them.
Oh, like an IKEA. You go through the showroom.
Yeah.
Andy stole so many fake stereos before.
No,
wait a minute.
I never could work out the angles at the superstore.
I guess I'm just not technical. I can't get it to work.
Yeah, man. That's a store when I was working
out of a plate glass window with a fucking plastic stereo.
When I was working at the superstore, I was angling, man. I was like trying to use all my shit, but I could not figure out a way to, I was gonna it would have to involve, knocking out another driver, shit like that.
Well, I think you're a good person for not going through with a scam if it involves violence. I think that that separates the gentleman bandit from the asshole. Right. Is that as soon as you have to hurt somebody to do it, you can't do it.
Yeah.
So if you can run a scam and get a bunch of stereos, no one's hurt.
That's the place where I first encountered cameras, because they had a stereo down in the basement was where all the goodies were. For, college age and into your 20s, you're going to want to have a rifle through there, speakers, all that shit, TVs and everything. It was all locked up down there, and they had cameras down there and careful inventory. So
was it behind a cage or a gate too?
Yeah, it was all locked up, and then you'd have to ask sometimes fucking sales dude would come down there basically saying he don't trust you neither. But you would, you'd get in there and you'd drag that stuff out and put it on the thing, and there was a camera right there, and I was like, I'm gonna have to involve forge it. It's like I was gonna have to dip into some crimes I wasn't learning about, and crime in my criminal law classes. They weren't teaching me how to pull that off. It would have entailed a phony phony.
Yeah,
You know, I would need
You have to
Ocean's
do
11.
the Indiana Jones thing where like you got a Bose,
Yeah.
you got something as heavy as a Bose speaker
Right.
in your right hand, and then you like put it on there.
I could have taken
Everything's cool. The trap door doesn't release.
I could have taken plastic ones down there and then made sure.
Yeah, you could have mixed the two scams.
But that's where, I wanted to rip off big business. I didn't have any reason not to. And then Jack Elam woke me up one day and I never looked back because I got fired after putting that other guy in trouble at the Jack Elam place. They'd let me go and I was ready to go too because I couldn't figure out how to rob them or just find something else. And
So how long did you work at this place altogether?
About I was there about three or 4 months at there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had several t-shirts, went on I was a delivery. I didn't mind going on deliveries and all.
You could steal from the houses of the places.
No, I wouldn't, but I wanted what they want, if I could grab a second recliner when I was delivering theirs, I'd be that guy,
you do the Holloway.
Like,
hey, you want me to get rid of that for you?
Like those it's a scam, but where they're like, hey man, you want to buy a couple of speakers? We're working at I'd be like, hey man, do you want an extra recliner? They don't have a camera in the recliner room, so I loaded up 2 when I was delivering 1, changed the inventory numbers on the computer. See, that's where I was just, next level of shit. You got a backup recliner in the garage, dude. I'll let it go for $50. If you spill some shit on this first one, you just swap it out. That's all I wanted is a set of everything. And I didn't need, 10% shit. Those chairs are, $500. I'm getting $800 from a Pell Grant, borrowing $1,500 per term. Got those sports rooms I'm paying off.
Wait, you bought those sports rims on time?
Yeah, man.
You bought brown sports rims on time.
Brown rims.
Bro, you spread the money around a little bit and build the credit. Because I was buying people Long Island's on my credit card.
Sure.
Like, rounds of Long Island iced teas, I needed to have a solid credit rating. So I bought them sports rims at $35 a month.
For how many months?
I only had to pay for them.
It doesn't matter, dude. It's only $35 a month. Doesn't matter.
You didn't pay after the second month anyway.
I only paid I paid for them after I sold them, but only one payment. I was nearly done. Yeah, I run into bad luck right at the beginning of that year there. That fucking, I can only guess it was a stereo salesman on cocaine. Now that I look back on it, that T-boned me. Some witness, and then it already looked like I was a hit and run because I was over in the burger parking lot and I was thinking about hitting and running, but that's when I noticed the tire was flat.
We've been through this before.
Yeah.
So, and this is what was revealed last time. I kind of want to wait for Chaille to get back because now it's all coming back to me.
I think I think I escaped most court.
They did. Let me just wait for Chaille to get back. We'll reset the scene. Because now I remember the story of Andy getting T-boned. And the way the story works is that they did think, Andy, that you were a hit and run driver because you
tried to hide the vehicle in a parking lot.
It wasn't like you say T-boned.
No, I got T-boned. I was in the middle of the intersection and he was
so he hit the side of your car.
Yeah.
Well, how could they think that you were going to be a hit and run driver if someone hit the side of your car?
I spun around. I spun around and I was still, I spun around and then you got to get off the road. So I pulled into a hamburger joint.
I know, but no one's going to think the person who's not at fault is the hit and run driver.
Well, you got to get rid of some of the shit that's in your pockets too.
Sure, either one can run.
Who did that? I just saw that in something where, oh, it was never mind. Anyway, yeah.
So what part of your car got hit?
I think you can be hit and run either way, though. Because people will leave the scene if they've got warrants or if they've got no insurance.
Yeah, so I parked and then I walked out.
Yeah, you can get hit and go, fuck, I ain't staying here. I mean, you don't care about your brown rims and your black.
I should have kept quiet about it.
Yeah,
because I went out and they were looking for that. I could have, maybe they overlook it.
Maybe they overlooked the T-bone car into the Bob's Burgers.
Well, I parked in there. I tried to hide. I was trying to hide.
Put some leaves over the crashed part.
I had a little bit of.
Why were you trying to hide? So you were a hit.
If you pulled over near the scene, then you shouldn't go try and hide. If you wanted to run,
I wanted to hide the drugs, and they're not even drugs, but they were at the time. They would have considered them. So that was. Also, I was probably in shock. I was on my way to go fucking hang out.
Your Honor. My client was in shock.
You see, Judge.
I would go with the guilty. Your Honor, my client just always feels guilty, even when it's not his fault. He doesn't even know how to be a victim.
I don't think
that's actually a true thing. Yeah, you're right about that.
I don't think I had a license either at the time. Or maybe I know I didn't have insurance. That's what it was. I didn't have insurance is why I
which is a reason that people flee, even if it's not their fault.
Yeah.
I know the story's going to end up with Andy T-boning the guy. I know it is. That's what it's going to eventually. We just keep revealing more.
The guy. There was a witness. There was a witness who said he was going through a green light. Well, then let's get the city engine. I have a list of witnesses.
It's just his word against yours. There's no, unless there's.
And I had people in my car too, but I don't remember what kind of witness level we had there.
I was a witness to a car accident coming back from the beach one day, and I had two young kids, like grommets. They were freshmen. I was a junior, and all of us were sitting there at the light, and this guy in this fucking cool ass pickup truck. It's like a fancy car, so we're looking at it, and there's three of us, and he pulls off the line right away. My Datsun 510, not just so fast off the line. And some fucking gal it was definitely green for this guy. Some gal goes through the intersection late and totally hits him. And I'm like, fucking no way. We pull over. And I tell the guy, dude, I will go to court. She fucking ran that so late. We go to court. Me and the two other guys go to court. And we're sitting there and watching this guy. He's there going, hey, man, I appreciate it. I don't know if you're going to have to go up and say anything, but I appreciate that you're here. It's like, hey, dude, this is totally wrong. We're here because that's bullshit. And then in comes the gal with her husband. She doesn't say a fucking word, and he completely lies to the judge. And we're going, what? This is fucking bullshit. There's no, and that was it. It was his word, which he wasn't even there. His word about his wife. No, it was yellow. And the guy's like, no. And that was it. And it was just your word against hers. So
I wish Chaille was a witness to mine, because the same thing.
It didn't help.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Wait a minute, though.
They wouldn't take any testimony. They won't let you be a witness in this traffic court fucking thing.
They also don't give you any rights when you don't have insurance.
Well,
or license,
because that guy's technically you shouldn't be on the road
and try to hide your car behind some other cars in a parking lot.
As you're eating all your weed.
I didn't want to. I wanted to stick around and get have them say it was his fault. Also, but I didn't have insurance, and I had weed on.
Andy, and I love you. And I agree that you're right 99% of the time in the stories, but it's truly almost never does someone jump a green light so much that they hit someone, T-bone someone going fast enough at that point to hit someone who was legitimately.
I was real late on the yellow, almost consider not jamming on through. So it was like one of them things, two people that shouldn't have been there in the middle of the intersection. I could have braked heavy, but I was afraid of everybody's cocktail spilling probably. I don't know. But I didn't jam on the brake. But here's the thing. When you don't have insurance, you don't jam on a yellow.
No.
You're already
so
deep
you have
into
to
the
jam
shit.
on the gas through a yellow.
I wish they would say that in driver's ed. Now,
there's
if
a lot
you don't have insurance and you don't want to spill your drinks, don't jam on the yellow.
Yeah. Yeah. Could coffee or whatever your beverage of choice.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be booze, but you should always drive like you have an open cocktail and no insurance. and also you don't want to go to jail. is your motivation.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's why I didn't have a license all the time.
It doesn't solve anything not having a license. That's just another
No, I overcome them problems to face new ones later on. But I stopped jam.
Karma got you in the end, for sure.
I don't jam through yellows anymore.
Me neither.
There's no reason that you can't wait.
I'm the calmest driver you've ever seen. I just once you realize that it just never ends. It never ends.
You just watch enough assholes burning through.
Well, you're in Austin, so it's just another light.
It never ends. It never. But I did LA for 7 years. I never got mad once. I just don't give a fuck. Honestly,
you didn't get mad in LA.
I'm just not in a hurry. I don't give a fuck if
Did people get mad around you? People get mad at you.
I mean,
you don't care.
Get mad at me. I'm a good driver. Honestly, I'm good at it. But I also just don't get mad if someone cuts me off.
Yeah,
I just don't get mad about it. I'm just like, whatever. I'm just over it.
Wow.
Honestly, it never ends. That's the point.
Chad, we're gonna reflect back when we hear about
like if I just tell this guy to fuck off, then everyone's gonna drive great for the rest of my life because this is the last fucking guy. Fuck this guy. But it never ends. You tell that guy.
You sound like you're the guy from Walking. What's that movie? Where
Walking Tall.
Walking Tall. You're that guy. You got it all under control. Yeah, and then you're gonna be like, no, I just want a breakfast sandwich.
I'm gonna smash everything.
Yeah, I'm worried about you, man.
With a big stick.
Yeah, I'm worried that you're gonna snap.
Dude, I'm good.
I know you're. I mean, that's what they all say. Just an average white
Those
guy.
were Plusser's last words.
Yeah. Elon's on the phone. You're fired. You've been taking emeralds out, you asshole.
I gotta go crack some skulls.
Yeah. And then you're yelling at some kid at the drive-thru.
Some kid cuts me off at the fucking HEB parking lot. I'm just trying to get in there and get some tortillas.
I'd say whoever's road raging is unless, well, I mean, they'll sometimes shoot you or whatever, but they're generally at a disadvantage for whatever's coming. Like that time, dude road raged at me, wanted to fight, and then I just, I got him out of the car and took off because I'm not gonna, like, he's got to be something wrong with you to be the road rager. Right. But I definitely get mad at people while driving, but I let it go too. It's like, all right, cunt, or what, I'll say that to the fellas.
I learned a technique in where where you're making up whatever story in your head that's making you mad at them. You don't know what the fuck their situation is. I just say call them a moron, but you're making it. You don't know if they're really a moron. So what you do is you just make up a completely different, reasonable but rational story where you're like, oh, that guy just found out his mom's in the hospital and he's headed to go see his mom at the lookout. Hey, buddy, you go. Good luck, man. Get your mom. And it's so weird how instantly it fucking worked. And then I just forgot to do it. Now I'm just fucking mad at everybody again.
Chad,
it worked for a while.
Honestly, that's a good idea. And that worked. And truly what I've done is a lot of times this was the case. I always pretend it's my daughter driving the other car or some other girl who's 22 years old and not really confident and doing her best. And would I want someone screaming at my fucking daughter? I would choke them the fuck out. Step the fuck off. She's learning to fucking drive. Like I picture that person every time it's that person. Now you see who it is and you're like, oh, you fucking asshole. But like, it just doesn't bother me anymore. That was the technique I used. Just having a child who like was learning to drive, like, oh, I just was always so worried about her, like, oh shit, and then I was able to. Oh,
most everybody gives courtesy to the student driver tag. I mean, you have to be a real asshole.
Right. That's what I mean.
Laying on the horn, student
I
driver.
like to put him to the test. I like to be the one where the instructor's in there going, it's all right. It's all right. While I'm riding their ass.
The guy's driving, like looking at Chad, looking at the instructor, like, is this the test?
That's the one teacher that needs to be armed. It's like the guy who rides with the student driver. You get out. I'm okay. Sometimes you will need to back a motherfucker off your bumper.
If
Give it a
never a
tap.
trial by fire when learning. It's driving. Yeah, don't sugarcoat it and then put them into the real world. Jesus Christ,
that would be a good like SNL sketch character, like the driver's ed, the driving instructor who's got a gun, who's like, you know, had enough, completely road raging on everybody. And
Coos Bay, they should take them. There's a little like places that have racetracks. Kids should be on a racetrack in real time, you know, like that's where they should learn to really drive, because they go out and they're just like on inner tubes. They don't really know what they're doing. Yeah, but you know, I did it on my own. That's why I cracked. My parents had such a high insurance rate, because I would, well, a lot of times my parents eventually learned not to insure cars fully when I drove them. And I learned to drive around. I mean, you know, nobody likes driving with me, but I drive station wagons around tight corners, and people would lose their lunches out the windows. Like that's what you know, like I was be allowed to drive to school, and then I would get in an accident at lunch. Like I wasn't. But we had pieces of shit that eventually just drove.
And did you get in multiple accidents at lunch?
I slammed the car up a few times that I didn't report, and then the one time I'd jam it, but one time I went off road and slammed, so that I had to report it because the driver's side door wouldn't open. Yeah. So it's like my dad, and he's out there, and he didn't believe me, and it's like, you know, I didn't have a good lie, but I was driving around at lunch and a deer ran out in front of me.
A deer
Classic.
in the middle of the day.
Yeah, like it's like, you know,
owned him.
I just lived up the high. Yeah, it was like on a side, you know, on a side road with lots of, you know, it was a road that was not designed for a LTD station wagon to be going 85 miles an hour around, you know, shit. And I slammed up the front of that. And then my brother David just took a big screwdriver and pried the door apart from the frame, and then I goes fixed. It still made you know, it was embarrassing, but I was like, all right, cool, man. I think my folks I think they were driving the other car by then, and they kind of bailed on the station wagon.
The station wagon is your car.
I totaled that, and then I got the other one. Yeah. We had like multiple. We were a rich family when it come to number of vehicles. We had a
number of station wagons.
We had an old Dodge truck that my grandma gave us. We had a shitty Chevy Love. And then we had the LTD, and then we got the pedophile's mother's vehicle, which I finally got to drive. It's like not a Chevelle. No, no, it's no. We've talked about it. It was like a fuck. I can't think of the name of it, but I ripped the tranny out of it right away. Because that one had a high back end, and I like everything I learned driving a station wagon erratically really come into play when I started driving a car with pretty good, you know. Like I could really whip it around. I knew how to like hit a corner really fast and skirt it around the edge. I kind of learned to drive on a pole position, and then I take it out to the roads. Game? Yeah, and then I take it out to the roadways. You get to that one, and you just slam the wheel around, and I do that in that car. So the history of me and automobiles is generally hasn't been good.
Yeah. Well, I believe you, because I drove around the entire Pacific Northwest with you in 2017, and you drove from Eugene. I drove up from LA to pick you up. Wait, no, you flew. This is what it was. You flew down to Fresno, and I picked you up in Fresno. We did some California gigs, and then we ended up driving up, and I let you drive from like Eugene to Portland. And by the time you got through Portland, I was like,
you're all nervous,
dude. I'll drive. And I drove the rest of the trip we drove all the way out through Oregon and Washington. We went over to Montana. We did shows out there. Drove all the way from Montana back. Like Andy did not drive at all. Ever.
You know, I mean, my mom taught me how to drive a stick shift, but I learned to drive by driving a handicapped guy with his hand on my leg. So I guess I am a little inattentive.
If you had just said something, I would have put my hand on your leg, but I was mortified.
Yeah.
My hands were grasping onto things to hold on to.
I once drove all the way to Idaho without putting my hands on the wheel. From Bend to the Boise area without a hand on the wheel. See, that's pretty good driving.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
They called one of my nicknames in high school was the stretch of road was called the Mario and Andretti track, or nicknamed, and I was Mario Andretti. But Mario Andretti didn't drive big fucking station wagons around, so I didn't think I should have been boxed with some guy who drove a car in perfect conditions. You know, give me a station wagon with bald tires on a slick road and
a door that sticks.
Yeah, a door that's, well, it didn't stick till that one day. I didn't go back on that road much after that. It kind of scared everybody that day. Nobody was talking on the way back. It was close to school, but after I slammed into the thing, and I was mad. I didn't take it well. It's like, you don't, when you're young, you're like, what am I gonna do? Like, relax, man, your brother will just pry it apart with a big fucking screwdriver.
Yeah.
And I was worried, how am I going to tell my dad this? He's not going to believe me. And it's like all that shit. It's like, of course my dad's not going to believe me. I lie all the time and he catches me at it. He sets me up so I will lie, and he catches me, So there's no way I could present this story where it's not going to sound like bullshit.
Also, because it is also bullshit.
Some guy driving a big truck full of dirt backed into me, and that's why the front end's got mud in it.
That actually is believable for Coquille, because I'm sure there were big trucks of dirt being driven around.
Yeah,
you're a logging town,
manure and shit. But
a chip truck hit you.
Well, my dad said as he goes, and I appreciate him giving me the benefit of the doubt. He goes, "You're probably lead footing," and he said, "Hey, we're probably lead footing around." And he's sarcastic like that. Like, that's, it's like, so I went away going, I think he might believe me. It's like, he didn't give you the full nod that he, that's how you keep catching somebody in a lie, is you let them think that, wait, am I caught? It didn't matter. There was no ramifications, caught or not caught. Or what are you going to do? Ground me? You're in a wheelchair. I'll have to go out a window.
He also didn't tell you to quit lead footing. He just said, you're probably lead footing.
Yeah.
He was resigned to his fate at that point.
Didn't they tell you on pole position not to lead foot?
Mm-hmm. No, in pole position, you take your foot off. Just if you want pole position, you don't want to rear end somebody.
Yeah.
You have to take your foot off.
Much like life, Andy. It's like life. You don't want to rear end anyone in your station wagon.
Yeah. In pole position, you only have to take your foot off the gas till the fire goes out in your car, and then you start back over. So I'm not sure it's exactly like life.
Wait, I think you're having factory dreams again. Oh, no. Somebody's family's going to burn up and they're going to blame me. No, I'm just removing emeralds.
Don't start with your Tesla misinformation, sir.
I know. I saw Joe Rogan was trending and I did not click. It's just what, it's like he trends enough that
I'm sure that he said some very freedom inspiring.
If Brett Erickson is trending, I'm going to click.
If Brett Erickson is trending, it's because I killed Joe Rogan or Elon Musk.
What? Well, there was a shooting in Chattanooga. You wouldn't be there.
Well, I wouldn't kill anyone either. So
no, I wouldn't be. Yeah,
I mean, not on purpose.
I killed a possum and a turkey. I think a cat. I clipped a cat. That's not bad. I mean, that's, and then of course, countless rodents,
not bad, meaning that's a low number, or not,
well, not bad.
I got him on the first try.
Just for a human driving around and being upright,
that's a low number.
I've fallen on dogs, like old dogs eat under my feet, and I'm drunk and I step on them. I didn't kill any. I ran over a possum and I heard it scream, and that stayed with me. I don't know why I thought it would be okay to blow a turkey apart, and it was not. It had feelings, and my truck had plastic in front, and some of those turkey feelings ripped part of the plastic, and it was part of the turkey hanging off of my truck. So it was like a prank gone bad.
So it was a little bit like an albatross hanging around your grill.
I thought it would be more Looney Tune-esque to blow through a turkey. And there's a reason Wile E. Coyote's not insured. You can't do shit like that. It fucks your grill up.
Yeah, he's with the General now. You had to get one of those SR-21s or whatever. It costs a lot.
Yeah. And plus I don't want to hurt it,
Right.
Like for the most part, I'll smash a spider, but if I can get it off the ceiling and take it outside without killing it, I'll give it a shot. But if it's going to be awkward, I'll smash it.
I'll let a bug live until it mildly annoys me.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's like doing something to me, like a fly is fine. If it buzzes me, well, you've made a fatal mistake.
Yeah. I get the electric handle and I'll open a door and I'll tell it, do the right thing, fly. But if it gets all up in a corner and I have to get involved and shit, then I'm like, I'm fucking.
But I'll let spiders go. And I'll
Jeffrey Dahmer. Yeah. Jeffrey Dahmer's stalking a spider. Yeah. So are possums. I hear they eat mosquitoes.
Yeah, absolutely correct.
Possums.
You know who has a possum? You know who has a pet possum? Brad Erickson knows this guy. And you probably know him too, Greg. Mo Alexander.
Oh, yeah.
He has a pet possum.
Yeah.
He fucking lives with a possum.
Yeah.
And it eats out of
bowls. Now listen, Andy, I met her and she's fine. I don't think you should be casting aspersions this way.
Yeah. She's obviously fucking up. Fucking her way up a little.
Really? He's got a pet possum?
Yeah, he's got a pet possum. He's had it a while. And it lives indoors, probably uses the toilet. I mean, I guess once you get past,
you're not using your possum properly. Possums are you keep a possum so that it eats all of the pests that you have around your place. That's what possums do, right, Chad? I'm going to guess.
So yes.
It seemed like there it is.
Picture.
It's also
picture. Let me get another picture.
It's also like the kind of animal you wouldn't have to take to the vet if it got hurt.
No, you just get another one.
You could.
Yeah, no, you'd love your possum. That Mo probably loves his individual possum and wouldn't replace it with another one.
Poncho the possum.
His name's Poncho.
Poncho the possum.
Poncho the possum.
Yeah. I guess I've had squirrels that want to come in and I've welcomed them, but they don't, that's like, I think after a while, like, man, you're gonna be here all night, like a raccoon. They just move in and how do you tell them, like, this is your cabinet, this is for you, don't go opening the fridge anymore. But it seems like possums are docile enough that they would be almost like cats.
Or is it mean? They're kind of aggressive.
Yeah, it seems like they would
well, they hiss, but that's because they're afraid. So it'd be like it's like, man, that chick was really aggressive. She was screaming when you were hitting her. I think they're like, yeah, I think
not compare that to a
well, I would love to hear from Mo Alexander what it's like to own.
Yeah, I want to hear from Poncho.
And what it's
like to live with Mo Alexander.
Yeah.
And what's preventing you from putting a rubber hat and some rubber jacket on it, taking it out in the rain? Like, that's what I would take that possum and go to, like, I don't know. It seems like you'd want to go out with it, do stuff like,
strut around town with a fucking possum on a leash.
Yeah.
I don't think it's legal.
Mo could go into
have a possum.
the redneck areas with his possum and go, what? You ain't ever seen a possum before?
Yeah. Imagine Mo and his possum on Fremont Street.
He could do. Okay, here's the show. Mo Alexander drives a truck with his possum. So.
Yeah.
All right. They already did it, but you just steal the kids today don't remember PJ and the bear.
I was gonna go for Mo Possum.
Yeah.
Because it's technically an opossum.
Okay, Mo Possum. Yeah, I got it.
Mo Possum Blues. All right. But he drives around and he solves crimes. Wait, he's a
That's is it. No, it's a combination of DJ and the Bear
he's a
and
stuntman.
Ratatouille. The
Yeah.
possum lives on Moe's head, and Moe wears a cap, and Moe solves crimes, but it's really the possum who's telling him who is the criminal, and
And the possum is a bail bondsman. So they're always like arguing about what it goes.
So the possum's on the hook for these criminals, and he's got to get them back, and Moe's got to get him back, and he's always yelling at Moe.
Yeah. Sometimes Moe does comedy, and other times to pay the bills, he has to round up somebody for his possum. And if you cheat on a possum's bail bond, you were the lowest scum. His family needs this. You know how many dependents?
Got 6 daughters on his back right now.
Oh my God, I would fucking totally watch this.
Yeah. And not animated, neither, real live
You
actors.
think I wanted to bring my daughters out tonight, Moe?
You'd have to CGI the possum, Andy. There's no way you're going to get a trained possum that you're this kind of dead.
I want Ruth Gordon to be the boss of the possum, but I know that ain't going to happen. God damn it, we need to find the next one.
Not alive anymore.
Is there any offspring?
Hey, where does Moe live? What state?
Memphis.
He lives in Memphis.
All right, so in Tennessee, it's illegal to keep a possum without a wildlife rehabilitation permit. But once they're old enough to survive on their own, they should be released, as they don't fare well in captivity.
Yeah, they're not captive animals.
Could you imagine just eating Moe's leftovers?
No one eats Moe's leftovers. Moe eats Moe's leftovers.
Who doesn't know what a leftover is? Neither does that possum.
That's why that possum's so thin. Look at it.
Yeah.
That possum stays that fat so he won't fit in most mouth.
It's like the Bobcat and the Duck I just watched on it'll be my recommendation later.
Don't jump the gun.
Yeah. But I told you this before. I had a possum. I rounded up. So I own this spread here. It's my Yellowstone back here. But when there's discord around my property, it's, I feel it. Turkeys are arguing down the street below. I want them to shut up. Knock it off down there. But there was a young possum, and I found him in my neighbor's. It was wandering around my property, but it was eating slop out of my neighbor's recycle bin, and then it come over to my place, and I had some grapes, and then I caught it, dropped a boom on it, and then I had it in a cage, and I treated it like I was giving it like, here's some I had salmon pate, nice cracker, and I take the skins off the grape and put water down, and I killed it.
I remember.
So
this
what
story.
how does Moe?
You basically gave it some poison, something that's poisonous to a.
Well, I know
something probably caused it renal failure, like they do dogs.
maybe it had something from the neighbor's slop, but it was it seemed like
they always eat slop.
But how did Moe, how did Moe get from having a little one to not killing it?
He probably read a book.
Oh, yeah. He didn't feed it. I probably overfed it.
But you said you served it salmon pate.
Well, I put it like I was having a cracker, so I was just giving it some of what I was having. I was like,
that's not what positive. Look,
I didn't want it to be a burden, so I was like, here, bub, I'm having, here's what I'm having.
Here, you want some of this?
You don't want to have a big discussion. Like, what are you into, man? I know.
Hey, you think possums like Abba Zabbas? Let's give it a shot.
Sardines, probably.
Probably.
Like shit like that. But I just like,
Did you give him sardines?
No, but he. No. I think it was depressed. I honestly, everything was okay. Everything was better. It just was in a cage.
Did it commit suicide?
It lost the will to live, and it was a youngster. So I don't know.
You trapped it. You trapped a baby possum, and then the baby possum died after you.
I wanted to find it. I trapped raccoons, and I wanted to have some sort of kinship.
Perhaps
This is why.
perhaps let's go back for 1 second now, because I'm trying to picture Andy. We kind of glossed over the capturing the possum. Like, did you just throw a hoodie over it and dive on it? What
No,
was
I think
your
I had
method of
I think I had like a netting, a butterfly net. I had like a it's what was it? I think I just kind of like knocked it into a trap. I think I got it close to a thing, and then it
The
went.
fact that you started with, I think, a butterfly net.
Well, I think
you have no recollection.
I think I hit it. I think I hit it with a broom.
You have no recollection.
If I was your lawyer, I would tell you to never tell a story, Andy.
Yeah, I led it up to it, and then I think I knocked it in there with a broom, but it was cool. And we talked about, like, I didn't swing it to hurt it. I was like, because I wanted to help it. I wanted to hook it up with
into the cage.
I wanted to hook it up with its, people.
No, you wanted to continue your experiments.
You wanted to. You said you wanted to bond with something.
I wanted to take a photo with it. But I would have released it had its mother showed up and asked for it. So I was.
Animals don't work like that anyway. Once you like.
Well, you think the mother was going to create flyers and put them up around town?
I have seen that.
All right, here you go.
But this was a little one, and probably was separated from its herd, and it was wandering around during the daylight, which that's what tipped me off.
It was probably disease, dude. You probably was lucky you didn't.
What are you saying about Mo?
Well, what I'm saying is, if you see a fucking baby possum wandering around during the middle of the day, do not take it home. It's
probably on drugs. I know, but that's why I need
on drugs.
That's more reason to get involved with it. Maybe I can make a difference.
It's not a hard luck story, Andy. It's Andy.
Well, why do possums get on drugs? Why do you think they spin out like that? It's because they come from a broken home, and then I'm a guy who I knock it into a cage, and I'm trying to help. It's a little tough love, but that's probably what your mother should have done. Yeah, that's what they do. It was doing a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got more teeth than any mammal in the most.
But I would go like,
mammal.
oh, okay. So would you like some lettuce? And they would go, all right, I'll get you a little lettuce and some water. And then so
all of a sudden you're like Coco the gorilla. You're communicating with this thing.
I did my best, and then if it were if it would have stayed alive, I'd probably still have it. But
he says he likes you.
It wouldn't communicate.
He's biting my face.
It would do that, and then it just died. And then I dumped it, and then I went back and looked for it later, and it was dead.
I was gonna say, because one of their defense mechanisms is to play possum.
That's what I knew that, and I'm like, really? And I was
really
shocked.
killed it.
Yeah, and I shook the cage, and they're like, wow, this guy's really committed. And then
you got a brain aneurysm because you shook the cage too much.
Yeah, so I took it across the street where you release wild animals over by your neighbors. You don't want them. A wild animal will come back, around. So you let them out where they get confused and run at your neighbors. So I released it, and then I went back, and it was still. So I didn't go back a third time, where it was like, okay, you never go after the second. So it could have left after the third check, because that would have been a good actor. Like,
wait, so how much time? It was still playing dead the second time you went back?
Yeah, like I went back 40. Because I remembered, oh yeah, I go check. I went back, and it was still 45 minutes later, but I didn't go back again because they start stinking, and the neighbor's going to want answers or whatever.
How long did you have it in your possession from when you knocked it into a bag to when you dropped it off?
Overnight. I fed it dinner, and it was dead at breakfast.
So it missed one meal and it killed it.
Yeah.
It was dead at breakfast.
It was dead. That was yeah. So, it wasn't even that. It wasn't cold. I covered it with a tarp so it wouldn't get spooked.
What?
Well, I didn't want it to be, harassed. I wanted to calm.
If you didn't want it to be harassed, wouldn't you cover it with leaves If you cover it with a tarp, you're basically saying, hey, what's under this tarp?
This body.
Well, I did. Here's what might have happened. I put it.
I think
I'd originally put a cat food tin in there that it shredded it up. So I was like, all right, I'm not, because I was just you'll eat pet food, and I put a little bit of cat food in there, but it shredded it. When I come back, it had eaten or shredded, but it may have choked.
Andy, honestly,
it may have choked on some of that metal.
If you found this abandoned baby possum during the day,
it was
wandering around, like hissing at things
at risk.
It really something was wrong with it, and it was dying already. And you just
I've made it.
Instead of doing like Mishka and taking it in so that you can do some shirtless Instagram pics for 18-year-old girls, you just risked getting rabies.
No,
no. Well, that's why you probably. I'm sure I had leather gloves.
Rabies. That's a misnomer.
Whatever the fuck it had.
Their body temperature is too high to actually host rabies. So that's a misnomer. I was waiting for that to come up because Tracy loves possums and she always fucking
All right. So now that you've given me the actually, tell me the list of diseases that a baby possum
Syphilis,
abandoned by its mother, walking around during the daytime, hissing and snarling at things could have.
Well, it was scared, so it was just saying, "Hey, man, find my people."
Hissing and snarling because Andy came at it with a tennis racket or something.
Well, I think it might have choked on a cat food tin. Now that we've thoroughly
you
flushed
think
it
it might have choked eating
that could have
a cat food tin.
Well, I removed as much as I could, and then I was like, I don't put the aluminum metal in with a raccoon or possums. I don't know why they shred that shit. So that could have happened, but other than that, it had a pretty good, other than that, Mr. Saget, how was your stay at the Comfort Inn?
Right. Ultimately, this is what I'm saying. If you are wandering around during the daylight hours and you find a nocturnal animal by itself snarling at you and stumbling around in the daylight, baby, even so, it is not well. And you would do well to avoid it and not try.
Well, that's what I
kick it with a broom into a cage.
That's why I probably, I had chickens and cats to think about, and I couldn't have a skew animal running around. I mean, if it's not one of your own, you can't have a raccoon just hanging out or whatever. You got to be able to know you can chill with them. And I guess I was giving the possum a tryout. You got 2 days to fit in, and if you fit in, that's cool. You can be one of us. We have them possums that they'll come through the yard and then they just take off. But sometimes they'll get scared and then they'll run into the space under the stairs, and they just get fucking. They can come out, but it takes them a while. They're like, I just go, all right, man, you work this shit out, and then overnight, generally, it's always worked out.
Yeah,
it's embarrassing, I think, for them. They're like, man, I was thinking this was a little deeper and maybe my ass or whatever, but that's happened a few times too. I actually enjoy possums, and I wanted to fix this one up with its people because I thought it was a little one and needed help. I hear what animals
Your
say.
heart's in the right place, Andy.
Yeah. I kill more animals trying to save them than I want to. But
you're like Team America, World Police.
Right. I'll get it. I'll take what an animal needs over what, like a lost dog or whatever. That I wasn't doing anything that much anyway, that I can't take a lost dog and find its people or whatever. And then sometimes you get fucked.
Yeah, this one's a little harder.
Yeah, that's hard. Yeah, because they don't come forward. You gotta,
You are 100% correct. They do not come looking for their baby.
They're assholes that way, but it's tough love. You don't see a lot of teenage possums hanging out with the folks.
You don't see a lot of pregnant teenage possums.
Yeah, after that they get. I don't.
Well, look at the picture of the one behind me. I mean, it probably took her a week to figure out one was missing.
I wonder how. Yeah. Oh yeah. I wonder how many. What percentage? How old are they? Mo Alexander will probably have the oldest living possum. They'll die of a heart attack
Yeah.
at 50.
I wonder if people eat them. I guess they probably do.
Do what?
People eat them.
Yeah, the
Sure
South
people eat 'em.
and Louisiana, that's some
So
good eatings.
possums in the wild live 1 to 2 years, and in
What?
captivity about 4.
Wow.
Oh shit!
They suffer with
Oh,
depression or
Pancho's
what?
dead already.
Yeah, that's probably why they don't live fucking vulnerable ecosystem there.
Yeah, I thought Birdie and I were out for our morning walk a couple days ago, and she took off after what I thought was a possum. She's on the leash, so I just grabbed her, and I was like, "Nope, that's a possum. We like possums; they're good." And then it turned out later, after we went around the loop of the neighborhood, it was an armadillo,
Yellow.
Oh,
which
nice.
is I'm still getting used to. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was a fucking armadillo, which I don't
Huh.
even know if they're any good at all. Are they any use at all? They were just
Well, I think it might have been a rumor, and I don't know this for sure, but when I was a kid, I know we would go to Texas and fuck around, and then I remember reading a book that said that armadillos can carry leprosy.
Wow.
They can carry disease.
no good. Oh,
yeah.
I'm sure. Well, again, this goes back to what I was already just saying. Do not befriend a fucking nocturnal
Absolutely.
animal.
You got an
wandering around during
armadillo.
daylight. But I'm just saying, are armadillos like? Do they? I mean, should I be trying to get it out
Yeah.
of the fucking neighborhood?
Yeah, do you want to
or-
keep your limbs? You want your
No,
fingers?
No.
You get leprosy from them
Not like
motherfuckers.
running across a puma in the fucking at the park.
Yeah, it scurried off pretty quickly.
Yeah, they'll run away.
Armadillos are
Normally,
fucking
it's
funky
down
ass. I mean, that'd be one of the coolest things about moving there. It's just to see new critters, pigs
Yeah.
and shit. You got
If-
your animal. You're little. You don't have little animals, but there's something that wants bigger animals out in Texas than there were in LA that want to eat them. Right? Coyotes were in LA. What?
Coyotes are
Coyotes are
everywhere.
everywhere now. Yeah.
They're even up in Alaska. I found out.
If an armadillo was ever got like aggressive, I'd hit it with a shovel probably. I mean,
Yeah, it doesn't seem
I
like
don't,
it's not. That doesn't scare me. An armadillo. doesn't scare me
Armadillos,
at all.
they roll up in the ball when they're threatened, and they keep to themselves. Like they wouldn't come at you.
Yeah.
no,
a fucking
that's what I
attack.
said. That's why I'm saying if that ever happened,
Yeah.
it's probably a zombie or
Yeah.
something.
It's a zombie dillo.
But look at-
trouble.
Look at the claws. These things are diggers, and that's where you get hurt by these things. Is the claws. If you try to handle one, and it would tear you up pretty good.
But they're super
Yeah.
fast. I'd go to
Yeah.
family reunions in Texas, and instead of having a greased pig, they would do they would call it greased armadillo, but it wasn't really greased. You just somebody had an armadillo in the back of their pickup truck, and they went and got it and let it go in the park, and 15 kids had to
Really?
chase it all over the park and try
Yeah.
to catch the
And
armadillo.
that one still lived.
You've never seen that on ESPN with the situation?
No.
Chasing an armadillo
Celebrity
around?
greased armadillo.
Looks like we got us a circumstance.
That seems like a pretty fucked up.
Anybody?
Armadillo rolls into a ball to be defensive.
Ooh.
Yeah, situation.
Yeah, and those are like
The situation's
scales
out of
that
hand.
fold over each other on its back. Armadillos are cool as shit.
It seems like like they would evolve past that. Like, hey man, let's not roll into a ball. People kick those. Let's roll into a square.
Yeah.
Square, you're not going to kick, but I would think that would be tempting if you had proper steel-toed shoes on. I mean, if you're from Texas, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't hurt
Yeah,
them.
but part of the reason they roll up into a ball is that when they do get kicked, they end up farther
Farther
from
away.
that kick them. So
Uh-huh.
you wouldn't want to roll up into a square.
Uh-huh. So yeah, but what if you're just out for amusement?
Or you lost your soccer ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you want to eat something and then they just because they roll 30 feet shouldn't stop you from eating them. But it does tend to fuck it up.
I was just telling you from the armadillo's perspective.
Yeah. I've never
Or
really
throw
run
ball.
I don't think I've ever run across one of them in the wild.
It's the first one I've ever seen. I've seen a couple of dead ones on the road, but this was the first one I've seen, doing its thing in the morning. And that's when I realized, oh, that was what we saw earlier. I thought it was a possum. It has the same sort of slinking around at night.
Does he work the same kind of job?
Yeah, they're
Night
working
job.
the same corners. You know what I mean?
The
Like,
insects. I think
Picking up grubs.
I think the possum is probably better because it'll eat mice and.
Does anyone have
what I was saying? I was telling the dog, I'm like, no, leave the possum alone. That's so. What does the armadillo? Is it any sort of advantage at all to your house to have one?
Will
around?
tear up your lawn, it says.
I did plant some bushes, and there have been some fucking talon marks in my mulch.
Let's see.
Motherfucker.
What are armadillos good for? They're good for eating undesirable insects. Remember, as wild animals, they could carry some diseases.
I'll stay away from it, but if they're gonna eat a bunch of shit, you don't
want to disrupt the balance, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
There's
a lot of fucked up. There's a lot of bugs and animals and critters here in Texas. That's what I've learned. It's hot as fuck and it's humid. There's a lot of fucking bugs. So anything that eats bugs.
But it's like
they love fucking bats in this.
They're trying to sell it.
Oh, bats are fucking great.
They're trying to sell you on the armadillo. It eats insects you want too. It says it just eats undesirable insects, but you put down a praying mantis or a ladybug.
Termites, beetles, grubs, cockroaches, and scorpions.
Insects Andy wants.
And ladybugs.
I need something
bumblebees.
to come and eat the goddamn tomato hornworms off my tomatoes. I found 4 yesterday, and they ate half my fucking tomato plant. You guys ever seen those?
What are they?
Hornworms?
The green,
yeah, those are crazy.
Oh yeah, those green. They fuck up
zucchinis. They'll eat a whole tomato plant in a day. If you don't catch them.
Yeah, that shit. Like I love gardening. I hated getting fucked like that.
What do you got to unleash, Chad, to get rid of some hornworms?
You got to get other bugs,
but you've still got to just search it and pull them all off there. And they're really gross to pull off there. They're super squishy.
Yeah,
and,
fucking guts.
And they immediately violently will flip around and like grip onto you. And I know that they're harmless, but I still freaks me the fuck out every time because they're so aggressively. I don't like those fucking tomato hornworms. I threw them in my compost and
you need to get
a fucking shovel.
You need to get you a couple of armadillos.
Armadillo shovel?
Yeah, get an armadillo run in your garden so they can just dig on the edges and then eat. I don't know. They'd fuck up your shit. You need to get a possum to watch your own. I bet Mo Alexander wouldn't live with an armadillo. That'd be crazy. You don't share your pie with an armadillo. And I'm not saying he shares his pie with a possum. I think
actually, if you think about it, the show would be better if it was an armadillo instead of a possum. Like,
that's what a TV.
If you're at the table and you've got a big peach cobbler and Mo's taking his bite of it, and then his pet tries to take a bite of it. If it's an armadillo, Mo can slap it and it can roll up into a ball and just roll away.
The pitch would be, man, no, Mo Alexander's funny. He's this funny comic, and it's just his life in Memphis, and he has this possum. And then you pitch that show, and they're like, all right, I see David Schwimmer. I see an aardvark. David Schwimmer, he's a podcast personality who just moved to Texas. Like, no, it's Mo Alexander. Like, David Schwimmer's attached to it now.
Eventually it becomes David Schwimmer is the voice of the cartoon, but it's Japanese anime.
Yeah.
And it's about a butterfly.
A show with just David Schwimmer talks to a armadillo. That's a show. How's that have to do with Mo and his father?
And the armadillo is Joey.
Yeah. No, you can't afford 2 friends. Nobody can. I mean, as far as friends, real friends, like Schwimmer, Rachel.
It gets weird putting them in the same project.
Yeah.
It's almost like the other.
Definitely, they start asking for more money. Those are the two most desperate, probably.
Could you imagine David Schwimmer being a manager in that Joey Monkey baseball movie? Wasn't it? Am I remembering that right?
Yeah.
I think Joey was in
Dunston goes to third base or something.
Yeah, like if Swimmer's in that, you're like,
oh, that's a good fucking title.
Yeah, that totally ruined that movie.
You go in with your kids and all of a sudden
part 2.
Wait a minute, third base. Yeah, they said it in the title. Why are you even here? You brought children? You're a fucking maniac. What's wrong with you? Oh, I thought it was a funny monkey movie. I didn't know.
Dunstan checks in. Is that
Dunstan checks in?
Was there a part 2 to that?
There
I
was.
think he was a baseball monkey, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was a pitcher.
I think those might be 2 different movies.
They might be.
Nobody says a monkey can't
you're
pitch.
Right though. Joey had a monkey movie, baseball movie. I'm pretty sure of that.
Joey had a monkey movie.
That's a movie. That should be.
These look like that Bobby Bernassi or whatever, that guy who had the chimps that almost choked me in Vegas. That guy who had all the chimps in all the movies, like everyone.
Yeah. Those are my favorite monkey movies of all times. If I had to name a monkey movie that I would watch again over and over, Desert Island Situation, any which way but loose.
Desert Island monkey movie.
Now then I'd be like, man, this ain't as good as I remembered. I should have thought this through.
Yeah.
Because there's probably a more sustaining monkey movie.
I will tell you this. This was like when the internet was just starting. When the internet was just starting, and like the amount of content of just like dumb content that you were going to be slapped with coming up in your life was like new to me. And when I think it was TBS that did the the chimpanzee like TV channel where they just acted out fucking scenes from famous movies with.
Are you talking about Link?
What?
You know what I'm talking about? They were like little shorts. They were like 5-minute shorts. They were on.
I know what you're talking about.
Yes. And they would act out like Gone with the Wind and shit. And it was just
the monkey would have like peanut butter in its mouth.
Yes, and there would just be that, and then it was like, just voiceovers with monkeys like fucking doing this. And it was the funniest fucking thing I'd ever seen in my life. And it still is.
Monkeys,
and it made me realize that all attempts at entertainment are futile. It's always going to be funnier to put a bunch of monkeys in the scene
doing what they
do this, and
it's
funnier.
Could you imagine just like running down a ramp with like monkeys swinging like that? I hope it's fun for them, because it would just feel like this is the best, like how lucky am I to, just to run around with monkeys. It'd be great.
Imagine the monkeys are like, this fucking human's ruining it.
Who didn't do drugs?
We were all going to run with our arms
and
do the whole thing. It was fucking human.
Jane Goodall didn't do any cocaine because she had fun with monkeys.
Those were gorillas.
Okay. Oh, see, like that. I hope the monkeys have a good time.
Chaille,
I don't think those monkeys are having fun there.
No.
But be those
people, because someone's waiting to beat the shit out of them if they don't play the right G chord.
I would go like, man, let's take this man on the road. Fuck this manager. We're gonna, and then you'd be like, you monkeys are assholes. A few weeks later, you'd be like, get the fuck out of here.
Imagine you're a band of trained monkeys, and you've gotten actually fairly good at playing music, and then you realize there's already a band called the Monkeys, and they're people, and you can't get any gigs, and then anyone who books you is angry at you that you're not fucking Peter Tork. And you're like, do you realize how difficult it was for me to train these monkeys to even play a fucking G chord?
Yeah. Keep the wigs on. It took us 3 weeks.
The wig.
Yeah.
You think that's bad? Wait till they get their opening song. Hey, look, we're people.
Hey, look. Yeah. Look at us people around.
And obviously we've talked about this is like, monkeys don't, you don't run into, this monkey, this is a monkey from Any Which Way But Loose. Oh, how old is he now? He's 7. Shake his hand. You don't, they bite your face off. They're like, I think chimps are like kid stars in TV. They don't age well, and they generally would, attack their co-stars later in life.
Well, as they get older,
like monkeys provide so much, visual joy, like chimps and shit. It just seems like they should have a easier, happier life of it, and especially the ones that get exploited and shit. they don't fucking have, they don't get to chill. It's a bummer.
I think that it's any chimp that involves itself with a human in any way is being exploited. I think that's probably
Well,
for
Michael
sure.
Michael
Well, and there's
Jackson
no-
Michael Jackson bonded with Bubbles, you know.
But there's I was I, I
They
was just
dressed
about to say
alike.
There's no
Not
happy
your
ending
best,
for that.
not your best example, Andy.
Yeah.
Let's start there.
Wasn't that ridiculous? Michael Jackson and Bubbles. Like, this is just a distraction from what he's doing to them kids back
Yeah, totally.
there. He's
Yeah.
friends with the monkey.
That
And then-
monkey's a red herring.
Yeah.
He's making 10-year-old boys spread their anuses.
Well, I mean, I think generally unless you're Walt Disney and you open an amusement park, I don't know. That was a red flag. But let's not talk about Michael Jackson and chimps.
There
That
used
seemed
to
like
be a show. Shaylee, can you find the show? It's not Lancelot Link. It was like a TBS. I swear it was on TBS. It was like they would do like, it was like a USA Up All Night thing where they would do a thing. They would just act out like Happy Days, but it was monkeys. And it would like, they would like sort of recreate the set of like the kitchen from the Cunningham house. And it would just
Wow.
be monkeys running around. And you'd be like, oh, it's Happy Days. And you would just laugh at it.
All right, the
I
Chimp
didn't
Channel. It's
dream
called
it
the-
in a fever dream.
well, as long as they can go, where are they now? How's
The Chimp
Potsy?
Channel is an American sitcom which aired on TBS Superstation in 1999, based on the monkeyed movies interstitials that TBS aired 1 year prior. It's the network's first original sitcom. The series primarily consisted of costumed chimpanzees and orangutans, voiced by human actors, parodying popular television shows, movies, advertising, as well as stars
Yeah.
and personalities within the industry. The Chimp Channel marked the first all-simian series since ABC's Saturday morning Lancelot Link Secret,
Oh, okay.
which
See, I didn't know
ended
it's
in
connected.
1972.
Well,
Man.
Lancelot Link was old.
What
This was
happened?
like from the, this.
It was the same thing,
The
though.
Chimp Channel was like the rebirth of that.
Yeah,
Where
If
a
they-
reboot, kind of.
if the monkeys
I
got paid,
laughed so fucking hard at that shit. Like
if
it is extremely funny to me. I
If-
don't know, like it's like farting. Like farts are always funny. Like if you watch a monkey like dressed like with suspenders,
Did they
dressed
have
like
a-
Mork? If you dress like a monkey dressed
Yeah.
like Mork and a monkey dressed like Mindy, it doesn't matter what the fuck they do in the room. It seems like it was written by a genius comedy writer.
if the monkeys were treated well, then what has happened to us as a country? We should have that on. That should be a channel,
Always.
like all the
Yes.
time. Like
That's
and
what I'm
new-
telling you, Andy. I
current
realized at that
shows.
point that all attempts at entertainment and comedy were futile because we
Listen,
reached the mountaintop.
Yeah, and then like dramas, like I can't watch. There's a show, All of Us. I see ads for it, and I think, God, I can't
think you mean
imagine.
This Is Us.
This is us. Like I can't imagine being stuck in a hospital bed and having that on. But if chimps were doing it,
Yeah.
maybe I could do it.
Right.
Dude, I have to
Right.
watch this. I looked it up on YouTube right now to see, and the second one is Andy Griffith, and it's black and white of
Yeah.
a fucking dude in a chimp in a suit. Holy shit! I will fuck.
All right. Well,
All
I
right.
didn't
The
even know what
one
my
right here-
recommendation. I had a different recommendation, but now clearly,
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
one, this one right here, it's chimps playing Wheel of Fortune. That's my first one.
Oh,
Yeah, man. I just hope
Where's
they're
that
handling.
Gilligan's Island.
I don't want to watch it behind the scenes and see that these guys are getting tasered afterwards, because it should be a
Oh, yeah,
party.
it's-
You know,
it's
like I
not-
want to think.
Probably not very nice.
I want to think that they go to a green room and there's bananas and cocaine if they want
Yeah.
it. They don't have to do it.
and I hope
It's
the
there.
monkeys get something too.
yeah, the producers.
Yeah, the Chimp Channel, man. I remember watching those and just cracking up because there was no, like, it was basically like the overdubbed part is a person like improvising what they're watching the monkey do.
Do they have laugh? tracks
Pretending
and
they're,
stuff?
Mrs. Cunningham.
Did they have a laugh track? Where,
Well, the
where-
monkey is doing whatever the monkey is fucking doing. And it's,
did they have like a studio audience noise? Because that would crack.
yeah,
me
it
up.
was
Like,
all,
the
it was
monkey
all
comes in,
honeymoon
"Ah."
style. It was all, yeah,
Uh-huh.
it was all,
Nice.
Ha ha ha! Laugh.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna go in and play these for the grandkids.
Yeah. Well, some maybe too, Happy Days got into some there was never
Happy Days. Eventually, Happy Days jumped the shark.
The only controversy I remember on Happy Days was when they had the black drummer. No, they didn't really get into social issues, did they? Well, they had I think, they had a black drummer.
I think that was when Fonzie was jumping his motorcycle over the barrels?
No, the chicken.
That's when he's jumping the shark.
Yeah, no, this was early on in it when they kind of like had a rock.
Richie
band
had a band.
Yeah,
and the drummer was black, and there was
fucking Potsy
problems with whether they could play at Arnold's because
Potsy ruined that band. Potsy, he's just fucking,
And it was a controversial stance.
Yeah. Fonzie, remember Fonzie was like the front of the band for like a episode. He was just all about presence, and he couldn't didn't sing at all.
Let me see if I can if I can pull this up. If this doesn't work, then I'll just stop.
Gilligan's Island, the lost episode.
I mean, I can see it. I don't know if everyone else
Yeah, I see it. Yeah. Jesus. It's the best shit ever. This is what I want on in the nursing home. Oh my God.
Finishing touches, and voila! The wicked Miss Coconuts is ready for loving. Gilligan?
Oh boy, Skipper. I'm gonna make her shimmy like a sailor.
Remember, little buddy.
Maybe I will watch this.
Holy shit.
right?
Yeah.
Me first. Hey, baby, buy you a drink? Wanna meet my little buddy?
It's so good. Why aren't they making this? Oh my God.
No, all my hard work for nothing. You pedal too fast. Gilligan! Ow! Thanks to you, we're stuck on this island with no female companionship.
But there's lots of girls here, Skipper.
Of course, Mary Ann.
Mary Ann? What about Ginger?
Too obvious. I want Mary Ann. Not so fast, Professor. As captain of the minnow, the law of the sea says I get all the hot young females.
What law of the sea?
It's a lot of peanut butter.
Mary Ann's all mine. Farm girls know about love. They've seen beef do it.
Great. If neither of you want Ginger, I'll take her.
Sorry, boys, but you can't have either of us. We're already spoken for.
Spoken for? By who?
Mr. Bambooey. Pedal, Marianne. And take your time.
Man.
Holy shit.
They should only do that from now on, right? Every
I gotta stop this. Hold on.
Hey, dude, get your freeze pipe out.
Yeah. Oh my God, the next one up is Bewitched. So we gotta wrap this up. Saturday Night Live could take a page from their book, Chimp Channel.
Man.
Fire everyone and hire monkeys.
Well, hire monkeys as writers and make it only as long as it's funny. Don't keep like beating a dead horse and make it like it's supposed to be a primer to a movie or something.
Yeah, we don't need to see the headhunters, but that would be fun too. That's just fun shit, man. What year was that?
99.
99.
Oh man, we were so close.
It was right when honestly, it was right when like before YouTube, but internet was about to happen. Like everything got stupid right after that. And I was like, oh, we already did the stupidest thing I've ever seen. It was the greatest. I mean,
do they have a Facts of Life?
I'm sure.
Oh,
I'm positive.
Oh my God. I gotta check my stitches. Yeah, man, that's a seriously funny shit there. I'd like to see him get the band back together, but now I want to see that they were all treated all right.
Well, let's do that. Let's make sure that we we
see
our own
we,
chimp channel, and we can make
well-
sure that our chimps are well cared for and have a nice.
everybody starts out
productive,
just wanting a
creative
big
life.
cat, and then you're Tiger King a few months later.
Yeah.
Well,
Exactly,
and I
that's the
think
problem.
Erickson was right. As soon as you come into, it's a wild animal. There's no happy ending for them. No matter how good they have it, their instincts tell them that they want something different, and they can't ever have that because people fuck them over. So there is no happy ending for any animals like that come into captivity that are wild.
I guess I quit doing coke then.
Well,
sounds like the same
it's truly
situation,
sad
huh?
that's the situation, and I guess we're just gonna have to use midgets in all of our parody recreations.
Look, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It wouldn't be as laugh out loud funny.
No, chimps are
Seeing
funnier, but
chimps,
look,
yeah.
Different era.
we're moral people.
Different age.
We'll use midgets if we have to.
well, we could make the midgets dress like chimps, right?
Yes, of course we can. We can do
Midgets,
anything. We're white men.
has there been a movie with midgets and chimps? I'm sure there has.
Wait, just midgets and chimps?
Well, yeah, the little people are just
Like West Side Story.
There are no
midgets.
people over
The
midget
midgets
size.
versus the chimps instead of the sharks and the jets.
Yeah, and they have to make it work.
Chaille's search algorithms are gonna get him on all
Yeah,
kinds
I'm
of weird
fucked.
lists.
I gotta throw this computer away.
This fucking guy's
I know we want gay monkey Lincoln in the title.
Yes.
Gay Lincoln is our highest rated. highest.
Well, as soon as we involve anything gay, we get better numbers. So
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about recommendations last week. It was Erickson had the Premier League. I had the cricket YouTube. And I forgot to put the link in there, but I'll put it in this week. The Carlin documentary, and then the Jason Miller Outdoors were our recommendations. Did anyone watch any of that stuff?
I watched some of the Jason Miller stuff because it was linked.
what'd you think?
I like it.
Stop right there.
It led me to I watched a few of those, and then I started watching the epic Yellowstone. It's
Hey, don't just morph into your
okay, but yeah, I
We're
watched
talking about other
I watched that, and
recommendations right now.
it's
So we'll
it,
get to yours in a second.
that
Right,
guy.
so first of all,
it's exactly what Chad said. That guy
stop.
has some crazy angles and places where bears come up and like lick the camera practically.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's cool.
I'll check that out. I did watch. I just want to say to Chad, I finally watched yesterday Our Father, which was fucked up. Like, I had seen that story as a Dateline previously, so I knew the story, and I knew it was the number of siblings was just going to keep getting bigger. But like, that guy was fucked up, and the way he like kept coming out to talk to anyone with a big open carry gun on his fucking waist, like, what a dick. And yeah, that was an incredible story.
How many is that? A multi-episode or
No,
okay? I'm gonna watch that.
one.
no, it's one. It's like an hour and a half long. It was
Perfect.
pretty interesting. And I also want to say this before we get into your guys' recommendations, because I'll go with the Chimp channel. But I want to give a shout out to Hack Oddity, Andy Baker, because we did the soccer thing with, the final day of the Premier League and the teams that went down and all of that. Well, when 3 teams go down, 3 teams come up. So the way the leagues do it is that when 3 teams come up, the way it works is the top 2 teams in the league below automatically come up. But the 3rd team is a playoff between the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th place teams. They do a little 4-team tournament, and the
round
winner
robin or something.
well, the 3 plays 6 and 4 plays 5, and then the winners play each other, and the winner gets the last spot. And that game just happened yesterday, and Nottingham Forest beat Huddersfield Town 1-0. And that's important because our friend Andy Baker, Hack Oddity, his team growing up, his childhood team, is Nottingham Forest.
Oh,
and
my
now
God.
they are in the Premier League for the first time since 1999. So
When monkeys were coming into their own in the
So just so you know, if you guys are looking for a team to cheer for in next year's Premier League, Andy Baker has his team has made it as the final team in the Premier League for 2020.
right.
I bet he cried. He probably cried.
I'm
I bet
sure he
did
cried.
too.
I'm sure he cried. We
Yeah.
chatted when his team was in a tournament, FA Cup tournament, months ago, and he was very into it. So to win that last spot is pretty incredible. So all right, I just wanted to get that out there.
So Chimp Channel, that's your recommendation.
Chimp Channel, I'll save my other recommendation for later. Clearly, yes, Chimp Channel. I'm recommending it to me again. I want to watch all of it.
Right.
It was the best.
Yeah, there's full episodes on YouTube.
Yeah.
I just looked it up. I'm gonna look it up later.
Well, as long as we're on YouTube, I'll give you guys a little something to dive deep into. Vice did a thing on. Well, I'll just show you the picture. They're called Mexican pointy boots.
Oh,
You guys ever heard of this?
yeah, I've seen him on.
Watch the Vice channel. They do a documentary on this thing.
Oh
It
man,
is fucking ridiculous.
Wait, what?
You can't get that 10 minutes back of your life, but you will know that this exists out there. Mexican pointy boots.
yeah, I didn't know they took it so far. That's
Oh, it's a thing, dude. It's taken over northeastern Mexico by storm.
really.
Yeah.
That'd be like, someplace where you go, what the fuck is going, like a totally different thing.
There's a whole cottage industry based around these fucking ridiculous looking
Huh.
boots.
Well, I see where you don't just
Wait,
have
how
the
did you even
shoes.
find out about this, Chaille? How did you?
Because I went to a
Are you
thing-
Googling most fucked up, obscure thing to recommend?
but
on
I
a
mean,
He's
podcast?
cartel, man. He's
like
cartel.
I was thinking, I need to find a recommendation like 2 days ago, and I go, what am I looking at now? What am I watching? And I was watching this one guy, YouTube channel, Rose Anvil, and they make leather goods. Like they'll make custom wallets and things like that, right? And this guy from Rose Anvil he doesn't even promote his own fucking business. He basically just takes boots and shoes, like expensive shit, and just rips them apart, like cuts them like down the middle, so you can and then deconstructs them and shows you how they're made and everything. He does them with the what's the fucking goofballs, those Yeezys. But the main thing is like he's taking an $800 pair of shoes,
Right.
and snipping it and showing how bullshit it is or whatever.
Yeah,
And
sawing it in half.
Yeah, so he cuts these fucking ridiculous boots apart.
Look at those
And I was
things.
like, what the fuck?
Well,
What
is there
this?
is there a practical purpose for that?
Well, watch the thing and we'll talk
Yeah.
about it.
All right.
I mean, look
I
at
mean,
it.
if you want
Do
to put your
think there is?
fucking, if you want to put your
I-
shoe
I'm-
up your friend's
have a guess.
asshole.
Do
Yeah.
a line off them, but a big line. And that'd be fuck. I just can't imagine walking around in those with not. I don't know. I'm gonna
They're
watch
not
it.
only walking, they're dancing in them things.
Yeah, maybe that's
Really?
maybe
The whole thing.
Americans are stupid in some ways. Maybe this is another way.
This is
You,
Mexico.
wait, you think this is the way that Americans are stupid?
Yeah.
Mexican dancing fucking
Hey,
boots?
you-
You think this is
Could you
Mexican
imagine?
pointy boots? You think
could-
this is an
Could you
indictment
imagine
on
somebody
America?
trying to shoot up a school with pointy boots on?
Yeah, that would
That'd
be
be
hard to get
Missing
away.
the point.
You can't run fast because I saw these guys in the thing. They're trying to get out into the middle of the bull ring, and it's like, well, you can't
They
go
could
fast.
they could escape on slightly, almost ready to break ice. Like that's where the Mexican pointy boot would come in handy.
They
Yeah,
could
but as soon as
talk
you got
shit.
at the bottom of the hill, like I was thinking skiing,
Yeah,
like if
they
you
could,
took the heel off,
yeah,
just lean forward.
they could talk shit right at the top of a ski jump.
Yeah, but when you're down at the chalet at the bottom, you better
Yeah.
keep those boots off.
Yeah, I guess in a close ski race, those would come in handy.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
I
my
got-
recommendation. Vice has a like a mini documentary on it, and there's other ones too, but some of them are just in Spanish.
Well,
All right.
you guys recommended stuff on the Apple TV a few times, and I didn't have it. And I told Jenny, I was like, well, I might have to try it out to check some of these out. Well, the kids watched. They have that one episode free thing that they get you with on that Apple TV. The kids wanted to watch one the other day. Prehistoric. What the fuck is it called? Prehistoric Planet. And it's David Attenborough.
He's the best.
Doing actual like a documentary. Sometimes you forget that it's all made up because they'll be like, the mother, she's lost, 14 of her babies in this trek. Like, and you're like, whoa, because it all looks so real, and it's David Attenborough. So you kind of completely forget that there's.
Isn't it a multi-episode thing too?
Yes.
Five Night. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. I'm gonna watch it. It looks looks pretty cool.
I mean, I that is the scariest fucking thing. And I mean, they aren't alive, obviously, but a T-Rex that can get in the water, it's the greatest fucking predator of all time. It's the scariest fucking thing.
Yeah, the T-Rex swimming in the water gets chased by a bigger predator. Pretty early.
The situation.
Looks like we got ourselves a happenstance. See, it all comes together, dude.
Yeah.
We could pitch ourselves to the situation as his writers, and we could just follow him around.
He's desperate.
Steal money from that guy, and he would pay us to write him funny lines to say.
Hell yeah. Anything to enhance the situation.
Yeah, you can never say the situation. That'll be the whole thing. You'll always have to say a different.
So I'm with Chad. Well, kind of like Chad. I'm nature. It's Bill Pullman, Epic Yellowstone, and it's like a 4 or 5 episode thing. But the camera work is epic. It's a lot of fucking distance drone shit, a lot of cool drone shots, and it's like that camera show that Chad had where you get way closer to shit and you follow it. You go, how the fuck
Andy,
are they even able to do this shit?
Did you watch this?
Bill Pullman is gonna.
Sounds like
are you doing a book report?
A book you never read. Where you read the jacket, the
Bill Pullman.
Well, the thing about Epic Yellowstone is
Independence Day. Bill Pullman.
So epic.
Yellowstone.
Bullshit. I watched Bobcat, the whole episode of Bobcat stalking a duck, and I know how it ends.
With him starting the couch on fire.
No, the Bobcat eats duck. There, he just ruined it.
Well, we didn't think the duck ate the Bobcat.
You proved it. No, you watched it.
I watched one episode, but I like it.
You proved that you know that a Bobcat is a predator to a duck. Thank you.
I didn't realize a Bobcat could eat a duck.
Now,
I knew
I want you guys to imagine Epic Yellowstone, but chimps in every role.
Absolutely.
Of every animal. Hilarious, right?
Yeah, and Bill Pullman hosting.
Again, you totally read that off of the fucking.
And he gave us
Bill Pullman hosts a show. It's pretty
future
epic.
President Bill Pullman from Independence Day.
Epic.
I liked Epic Yellowstone.
I've been to Pullman, Washington, and Pullman, Washington's pretty cool. So
Super volcano.
How many more words do I have?
Super volcano.
You don't have to do recommendations.
No, I saw the show. I like it. I'm gonna watch all episodes of it. God damn it. And they're 45 minutes long and it's outdoorsy.
If I had to choose between the two, it would be anything with David Attenborough first.
Yeah, but Bill Pullman's on the list.
Even if it's goofy.
Bill Pullman's not on the list.
Shit.
Peter Coyote's ahead of Bill.
He lives near the park.
Yeah. I did watch a couple of YouTube 10 best moments of Yellowstone, the Falcon Crest / Dallas.
Oh
reboot.
God.
Yeah.
Man, I was sick of watching it and just watching the 10 best.
I don't doubt it. Chaille, I watched the first 3 seasons of Yellowstone.
No, I couldn't.
With Mitchell. And we basically, after the first couple episodes, we kind of watched it and we just watched it to like make fun of it. And then season 4 finally came out. And by this point, I actually had a job. So she's watching it while I'm at work. And then I can't tell you. The best part about having a job is that I didn't have to end up watching this show.
Oh, yeah, that's
She
a
could
good
just
reason.
describe to me what happened in like 20 seconds, and I was like, "Oh, I could picture it all."
You should watch.
You know, like some sort of like, you know, thing where like all the images appear to you in your brain at once. And you're like,
yeah.
Oh, I got it. I got
Done.
it.
Don't need to watch
I
it.
know exactly
None of that stuff is in Epic
It's
Yellowstone.
so much better than watching all of those episodes.
Yeah, watch Epic Yellowstone instead with Bill Pullman as the
We
host.
get it. You read the book, bro. You stop trying to prove it.
Bobcat, he's a duck.
Bobcat. Yeah, we know you watched it. Like it was our idea. Like, oh, this would be like a good idea. Like, we'll just recommend shit that we're into. And now it's come down to like all of us an hour before the podcast are like, all right, what can I like scroll through and like read the bio information about to recommend?
Well, not really. That's what Andy
have to do it.
That's what Andy did.
No, this time because I watched so much college softball.
Well, then recommend college softball.
That's what you're supposed to recommend something that impressed you, not something that you think everyone will want to watch.
You're not.
What I don't know when it's on again.
It's not it's recommend anything. It doesn't have to be
okay. College lacrosse girls.
It's just let it be from your heart.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying about Epic Yellowstone, and Bill Pullman hosted.
The one fact he knows.
Yeah. I'm surprised he hasn't thrown in who directed.
And
the editor was Jeremy Sponge.
He's literally reading. You went to Redbox and got the fucking Epic Yellowstone DVD.
I don't think you'll be disappointed.
You can see him like looking off camera.
There's one time
it was produced by James Cameron.
There's one line that was kind of funny that Bill Pullman said. Anyway,
this is our Independence Day.
God damn it.
My God.
2 thumbs up.
2 talons up. All right. Well, I think that does it, right?
If not, we're really close.
Yeah, we got some monkeys to watch. Let's just close with monkeys. Monkeys waving their arms. We're out.
Watch them.
Perfect.
Oh, do we have to do a read for Freeze Pipe?
I didn't hear anything from Fanny.
Oh.
All right.
We can just replay the I mean, I did get a new ad copy, so I sent Chad the old ad copy, but let's just talk about Freeze Pipe for a minute. I mean, you've seen the Freeze Pipe used during this show right here. You saw Chad smoking out of the Freeze Pipe the entire time. I mean, if you don't see that it's a perfect companion to something like Andy Andrist, then I can't even help you. I mean,
so check this out.
Everybody has an Andy Andrist in their life, and what you need to enjoy an Andy Andrist is a Freeze Pipe. So you get a Freeze Pipe, and then your Andy's not so much trouble anymore.
Dad, what are you trying to show us?
This is like a whole kit. It has that bubbler, but look at it has a like a grinder.
All right.
This I'm anxious to try because I've heard about it. People have offered to send this to me before. It's a hemp rope, like a pump when you do fireworks. This is healthier than using a lighter to light.
Yeah,
your
because
bowls.
the fuel that's burning is actually going into your lungs as well. So they've got something more organic or something.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it's just a
See?
coil.
You guys. Freeze
I gotta try it, but I'm a little nervous. I didn't want to try it on the podcast because I've never done it before. I don't want to look silly. I'm a professional pot smoker, for God's sake.
Yeah, God forbid you look silly on the internet.
Yes, I mean, we're not the Chimp channel, for God's sakes.
You're a weed influencer.
So 10% off if you go to thefreezepipe.com/Andy.
It would be funny if we did a Patreon episode where it was just 4 chimpanzees sitting in chairs, and then we just did the voiceover.
Who's got peanut butter and chimps? I
Yeah,
got
I'll bring the peanut butter.
I
Yeah.
got half of it.
Yeah, there's been a peanut butter recall, so be careful. We don't want to
Chimps
give.
don't care about that shit. dude.
Yeah, they don't read recalls.
That's how they test
They
it.
don't
if
care
their
about
recall
that.
can be stopped.
But we want to
Yeah.
run an upfront chimpanzee organization. So
Can't we buy some of them ape NFTs? Aren't those worthless?
Oh, yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
apes. So apes and chimps are different.
no, we get
Andy, I
nondis-
thought you were going to get a new camera before this episode. What happened?
Well, I went high def, and I never
You
looked
did?
back. I don't.
No,
didn't I,
he clicked HD. In
I
the
clicked
Zoom.
HD.
yeah,
and-
no, your camera is still garbage.
Oh yeah.
Well,
All
I
right.
mean,
Yeah. No, I was going to do that. Nah.
can you not see the difference between the 4 of our pictures, even right now, like all of it overall?
I thought I was just in the fog here.
I thought it was your eyes.
Yeah. I intend to do that.
And he has the
All right.
cancer filter on.
Yeah.
It'll be a
I'll send you,
surprise.
we'll set aside some Patreon money and we'll let the people help you.
Well, I'm all for that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that'll be a nice thing. We can do that.
Absolutely.
Well then, yeah, then I'll clear it up.
Right on. All right. I got sidetracked from the freeze pipe thing. I'm a little drunk.
All right. Well, we do have. This isn't a sponsor yet, but I hope this is maybe something that they're impressed with, and they can jump on board the Issues with Andy bandwagon. But here's some. Saw these.
Wow.
Saw these at the.
Oh man, those are I
Saw these at the Target.
Is that real?
that's
I
the
mean,
real
clearly it's real. It's real fit.
It's
Yeah.
it's a different brand. It's an action brand of Depends.
Yeah.
Performance, maximum performance brand.
That's what I got, like PM, like nighttime ones. So I
Yeah.
would
I
want
think
ones that you could do more rugged shit in.
I think you gave him a
well,
nice package there,
You
Shank.
could
I
shit
think
more
that's-
ruggedly in.
Is it just me, or can you see that wiener through that?
Yeah, I can see
Kind of
it.
can, yeah.
Yeah, I can see the whole line.
Well, yeah.
Well,
you
we're
still-
trying to move product here.
You don't want, you don't want to distract guys from the real thing as they're shitting in their pants. So you should let them think, oh, I could still have a big dick and wear
Throw
those.
something bulky up front.
Yeah. Your penis shrinks into you when you wear diapers, I would think.
He said, yeah, sadly, he knows the answer to that. That's why. Oh, I mean, I've heard.
Yeah,
heard.
there's no shame in it. In a real fit, you got no problems.
That's it. That's it. Real fit.
So come on, Depends. Get a hold of me. I'll whore for your product. I just want more
You already
product.
are on Twitter. Horn.
And
Yeah.
also, truly, use freezepipe.com, promo code Andy, and get 10%.
Uh-huh.
We use all their products. You've seen the potheads on this show. They swear by the freeze pipe products. And when I say swear by, I mean when their products break, they swear. So it happens. But
Well, there's customer service that
Still the
takes care of
best.
that.
It's still the best.
And
Look at-
always
look at
have a
that. Look at that
backup.
hit. Did you see that hit? Look at that hit. That was amazing. No
Oh,
coughing.
you got to have a backup.
No
man.
coughing, folks. Come on.
Yeah. And
Come on.
he was in Nam, man.
He's got valor.
Yep. Well, he would. No, you've never been there, but you'd have fit in.
If it hadn't
Damn
ended
it.
years before he was
Yeah.
born.
No, I mean just now. It's like like Anthony Bourdain, Chad would fit in. Anyway, we should
gotta
have go.
go.
We
Yeah.
gotta go. Look, I know
Gotta
that
go.
that's like a
That's
thread.
actually that feathers in good with freeze pipe.
Yeah, we could have pulled on that thread and just gone another 20 minutes, but I think we got to wrap it up. We love you guys. Thanks for being out there. Tell a friend, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We love you. You know we're on Patreon, so jump on there and throw us some cash. We'll do some Patreon stuff for you if you're on there that you won't get on YouTube. I mean, shit like Andy doing this kind of stuff he's doing right now, checking to see if the mailman's outside. He's not, by the
I'm
way.
blowing smoke.
And his name is Kevin. We love you. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Did you work today
Yes.
on a holiday?
On a holiday.
That's not what I heard you were going to be working.
Changing the world doesn't have a holiday.
Man, This guy doesn't give a fuck about us. He just wants to make it work.
Yeah,
we had to
that's
work.
bummer.
So, but I got double time. So I'm one of those schmoes now. Like, I'm like, oh, we're gonna pay us double time? I'll definitely do
I'm
it.
gonna have to.
10 hours all day long, like a dip. Yeah,
Bummer.
I know.